Someone commented that the pacing in the Castlevania series was so horrible that it couldn't keep him interested. The pacing? There was 4 episodes.
Well, maybe not a lot happened in those 4 episodes.
But I mean, I know they didn't really cover the whole, Belmont's fighting monsters for generations being excommunicated by the church, but come on, they only have so much time.
That's true. Anyways, so what'd you guys think of it? All right, no one's in here yet. We'll have to fix that. Did you want to go over anything?
Did you put the thing on Patreon?
Yeah, of course it's on Patreon. I took care of shit, ye with little faith.
Do you have the YouTube link so I can check on the chat and stuff?
No, only I'm allowed to do that. Oh. This isn't a democracy, Nat. There you go. Oh, we're off to a flying start. So riveting. We're patting ourselves in the back, and now we're swapping links. Anyways, looks like everybody, a lot of people are in already, and it looks like the hot topic of today is going to be Death Note, the Netflix series. Speaking of Netflix, and hello, Christina Phoenix, NG, Duke, Transmission Rory, Luke V, Kit Kat, and Kahuna Drake, and Joe Bob, Newbie, Big Chief. All right, I think we are ready to go. If you're sick and tired of listening to my babbling, we really don't have a way to open this. It's just kind of a cold open, obviously. So we'll get right to you. I'm going to bring in Kahuna Drake since she's the one who mentioned Death Note earlier on in Discord chat. And the link is on her way. In the meantime, Nat, what's up with you?
I'm just checking the Discord chat and seeing what's going on.
No, I mean, what else is going on with you? Unless you don't want to talk about that, make that known that you're a horrible racist that's going to be on television shortly.
You mean the Jim Jeffries show?
Yeah, that.
You know what? I accepted the call before. I accepted the call, and then afterwards I remembered that Jim Jeffries was that one guy who I saw. He was like arguing with Piers Morgan on the election of Trump, and Piers Morgan was putting forth all of his arguments, and Jim Jeffries' response was, "Oh, fuck off."
Oh, that's what you get for that's an Australian in a nutshell.
The most eloquent of rebuttals. And then he also went, Hitler didn't exterminate the Jews on the first day. And it's like,
oh,
all right.
He jumped straight to the fuck you and right onto the internet rule about talking about Hitler. Godwin's law.
I don't know.
Right in the second sentence. Godwin's law. He just V-lined right.
I'm going to try. I know it's. I mean, what better place to discuss politics than Comedy fucking Central, right? But like, I'm going to try and keep away from the immigration stuff and focus on the other stuff, the actual reasons I voted, which was economic reasons and democracy reasons. If they ask about immigration stuff, I am going to cover it. But I'm going to make sure that tread very carefully.
Yes.
I'm going to tread very carefully.
Just keep pushing Australia. And if he's like, Australia, be like, oh, fuck off. Fuck off, mate.
Yeah, closed and strict and tight borders are terrible, aren't they? I mean, just look at Australia, Jim Jeffries.
And if you don't want to be like, totally like, Crackerville, you could also throw in Japan at the same time. If you don't want to be a Cracker Barrel. Anyways, Kahuna, welcome. I saw that you were in Discord talking about, hinting at your disdain about the new Netflix series Death Note.
Yeah, it's just a flawed adaptation. Sad to say.
I had so much hope for it because it had William Dafoe as Ryuk.
Well, that was the only good part.
Oh, obviously. I mean,
I keep saying Willem Dafoe should play the Joker.
Well, so is the rest of the internet.
No one's listening to us.
Just the internet. And see, that's exactly why Netflix is actually pretty cool, because they actually like give people creative freedom versus like Hollywood and shit, where it's like, no, we got spreadsheets and they say you need to have A, B, and C in a movie. You got to have action for the boys. You got to have romance for the girls. You got to have applesauce for the old people. You got to have safe spaces for millennials. I don't know.
There's a general formula as to what is Oscar bait.
Mm-hmm.
If it's set during World War II, it will probably win an Oscar. If it completely wanks off the film industry, it will probably win an Oscar. And look at Moonlight. Moonlight was like the most fucking Oscar bait film I've seen. A gay black poor dude. Like, it's like they literally had like a checklist, right? Okay, he's black, right? Okay, yeah.
Can't get that Oscar so white thing. Check.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, honestly, the worst parts were the two main characters, Elle and Light. It's like, so they butchered those two, so then none of the movie really went well after that.
You just hate it because Elle is black. I'm using Sony's logic here. You just hate because there's a black man taking an Asian man's spot, I guess.
I don't know. I was just curious to see how he'd be like. He seemed kind of fine in the beginning, but then once he started not being cool and collected like he was in the original adaptation, just like, oh shit, he's like out of control, kind of being over emotional, not cool and calm collected. Just like no.
So also like Sony and Ghostbusters 2016 specifically, he's playing up to the stereotype.
I mean, and this guy wants to get a role as a Joker in a Batman adaptation, so I'm just like,
Well, again, if it's just if the character is not how he is in the series, obviously that's what made Elle so likable. He was calm, cool, collected, very Sherlock in a lot of ways, and also eccentric as all hell. If he's going to be brash and emotional, that's like Spock in the new Star Trek movies, where calm, cool Spock's like beating the shit out of Benedict Cumberbatch. At the end of the movie, it's out of character. It doesn't work.
Yeah, he got really out of character near the end, and then Light was kind of...
Are you telling me that Spock wouldn't mercilessly beat someone, punching them in the face repeatedly? Come on, that's so within his character.
Go ahead, Kahuna.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kahuna.
And then Light was just... I don't know. It was kind of weird how they set up like his family too. Like he was kind of like an affluent, normal kind of teen, but in here he's kind of like really mopey and emo. His mom got killed. He just lives with his dad beside the train track, and it's just like, okay.
He's edgy.
Yeah, and then they try to make him kind of sympathetic, which was what I kind of like about the character, was that he's kind of not really that sympathetic in the original to me. I mean, he kind of had good intentions initially, but then that kind of went down the rail. But they played it up all the way to the beginning until the ending twist. I was just like, no. And then they made Ryuk a bad guy, which was kind of weird because like he's kind of like just an observer in this whole craziness.
Yeah, he's the one who kind of like just like gets the ball rolling and sits back and watches the chaos.
Yeah, but then he actually took a role to try to kill Light, and it was just like, no. Wrong. That was like the whole climax. I mean, it would have been better probably too if it was more of a series and not really a movie, because they had to skim over a lot, and the whole thing of Light being Kira, it was just kind of revealed too quickly, in my opinion, to everybody else.
That's initially what I thought it was. I thought it was a series, and then I heard it was a movie, and I was like, really? You're gonna adapt? It's like the Dark Tower movie that just came out. They're like, what? You're gonna condense 7 fucking books into an hour and a half long movie?
Yeah, 90 minutes, hard 90 minutes, not 2 hours, just 90 minutes. But see, the Dark Tower is supposed to be what happens after the books, because the time keeps it's cyclical.
Oh, yeah.
It keeps going round and around.
Oh, it's about what happens after the books, and as we all know, the main character turns into a big black guy.
And then the soundtrack was interesting too. It's like all 80s songs basically.
Oh god, they're doing the Guardians of the Galaxy shit.
Yeah, just very remixed versions of 80s songs. It was just like interesting soundtrack.
Great. Da 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 Death Note da 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 da. Fuck that shit. Jesus Christ. So basically, they took the anime, which is a very, very good, like, it's very, very morally ambiguous because you have this guy who's trying to do, you know, the right thing. He's kind of just an average kid. And then it just shows how power corrupts absolutely. And he's pushing his morals further and further to the edge. Oh, well, you know, I can kill this guy. I mean, just one guy, I can kill him. Versus, you know, being like, you know, I'm not going to do all this stuff in the very beginning. And it becomes this awesome game of cat and mouse where you have two geniuses. One has intellect, the other one has the supernatural ability, and they're trying to oust one another, trying to figure out who the other one is. The first person who, I guess, wins the game dies. It's a fun watch, the original series. But just by the way, I even saw the trailer. It just looked like absolute shit. It looked like it was going to be rushed. It looked like they were going to take a lot of the nuance and a lot of the fun out of it. And I guess I was somewhat right in my prejudice.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of looking forward to his adaptation because it had so much going against it. But I was kind of holding out hope for it. It's like, well, that'd be nice if it just like blew everybody away and kind of just all the SJWs crying whitewashing can just, you know, get their faces rubbed in it. But no, it was kind of like a subpar adaptation, really. And it was also kind of like Final Destination because from what I understand about the original manga and anime is that everybody that has their name written in Death Note died of like a heart attack at least, unless otherwise specified.
Yeah.
But that it's like, I think the rule was like they had to die in a believable, convenient way.
Yeah, you can't be on one side of the world and then, you know, write that this person's going to die on the Eiffel Tower, which is on the other side of the world, within like 3 hours, because there's no way in hell the guy can get that from one point to another. So the guy just dies of a heart attack. But you can make them like, you know, draw symbols on the walls in their own blood, but you can't make them like speak a language they never spoke before. So if you do something outside the bounds of probability, then your conditions just disappear. It just becomes this person dies X amount of time from a heart attack. That's it.
You get an error 404 message.
Yeah, you get the blue screen of death. Oh, bad jokes. Wouldn't be one of these things without him, right?
And I guess the director is kind of just calling everybody trolls and anime purists who don't like his version of the film, I guess.
Well, the guy was even, in the interviews I saw, he was like, before it came out, he was like talking about how, it's inspired. I took some creative liberties and it's going to be awesome. And it's like, dude, you realize that this thing has a following. It's like saying, oh, you know, Peter Parker was bitten by a scorpion instead of a spider.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the guy just kind of dug his own grave on that one. And when you lash out on Twitter and have like a hissy fit and call people names, you're just digging yourself in so much fucking deeper.
It'd be better if you're a creator and you face this kind of backlash, rather than attack the people giving you that backlash and thereby making the situation worse. Just take their criticisms on board, even if you don't agree with it. Just say, "Oh, I appreciate your feedback. I'll try and work on this and that."
Yeah.
What?
No, I'm just thinking, oh yeah, I'll try in the sequel, and it's like apparently this is kind of closed in, so there won't be a sequel to it. But
yeah, I don't know. They kind of left it like open. Like if they could make a sequel, they will be able to. But I'll have to see. I guess that from what I hear from somebody I talked to on Discord, they're also the same director is also going to make an adaptation, Evangelion. I'm like, oh, great.
In Discord, were you guys talking about like who was going to be playing one of the characters? What's her face? Ghostbusters.
Leslie Jones, Melissa McCarthy.
Yes, Leslie Jones.
What? Okay.
Oh yeah, probably Asuka or whatever her name is. Yeah,
I thought you guys said that she was for sure playing another character.
Yeah, something. I gotta look at that actually again. Shit, I hate this. Like,
you know what's funny with the whole race swapping thing though is that like it's okay if it's a white character, but not if it's Asian or black character. Which I have an SJW friend who's like super like
friend.
Quote unquote. No, she's like quite fat, and she believes in the fat acceptance movement. She identifies as pansexual, so she's into all that.
She's into goats.
she's also like Afro-Caribbean, so she's very like pro Black Lives Matter and all that stuff. And this is what she genuinely said to us. She said, race swapping is okay as long as it's not a white person.
What?
As long as it's not a white person? Oh,
like
to a white person. I gotcha.
Yeah.
The usual hypocrisy of it all.
Yeah, Leslie Jones is set to play Asuka. A 49-year-old Black woman is playing the part of a white ginger teenager, in his own words.
You know what, though? Race swapping is okay in some situations. When it's not done for the sake of doing it, then it's fine. Morgan Freeman in The Shawshank Redemption was amazing. In the books, he's some ginger Irish guy called Red, which is why you have the joke in the film, why is your name Red? Maybe it's because I'm Irish. So, it works in that aspect. And the reason they cast him as that is because, yeah, he didn't fit the part of, like, the appearance-wise.
But he knocked out of the fucking park as far as his performance.
Well, it was because he's supposed to be the narrator of the story, and Morgan Freeman, if there's one thing he can fucking do.
Yes.
Do is narrate a story.
Oh my god, yeah.
So
and it's also like the same thing with Nick Fury and Samuel L. Jackson. I mean,
well, yeah. I mean, I'd take Samuel Jackson's Nick Fury any day over fucking David Hasselhoff's.
Zandu Hasselfrau. But it goes to show how stupid the identity politics are. I mean, it should just be based on the individual, how good they are in the performing the part. The politics behind it, the identity politics, are just disgusting.
Yeah. I mean, it really shouldn't matter. I mean, if they're blaming us for having a bunch of adaptations, I'm like, well, there's adaptations of Hollywood movies all over the world, from India to China and back and forth.
Well, yeah, so. It's like, is anyone complaining that I once saw a Bollywood version of Pride and Prejudice, and I wasn't going, hang on a minute, where are all the white people?
Because then you'd be a racist.
Like I was saying, thing about they've made the Doctor Who a woman. They've made Doctor Who a woman now, right? They've made the Doctor a woman, and I've actually been saying for years, oh, it'd be cool if like once she regenerated into a woman, because it would be not unreasonable. He can regenerate into whatever the fuck he wants. But it's the fact that my problem with them doing it now is that it's the fact that they're doing it just because they want a virtue signal. It's not because they have this new direction they want to go in. It's because, oh, look at us, we're so progressive.
Well, this is also why the new Spider-Man movie looks like a freaking college pamphlet.
I seem to be the only person who has problems with the new Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, it's got its problems. But
my biggest thing was,
I remember like everyone's like, how this movie looks like it's kind of paint by numbers. Okay, we have a token this, we have a token that, we have a token this, we have a token that, and it's like,
well, it's just to the point where
there's like a quota sheet.
I don't mind it being diverse, but it was at the point where it was like distractingly diverse.
Yeah. Although
it did result in one of the best plot twists ever.
Yes,
I don't
true.
think any of us saw Michael Keaton.
I can
the father of the black girl.
Well, that's because we're all racists. You see, all of us are just projecting our whiteness. Although I think most of us in here are.
No. Peter Parker shows up at that girl's house and Michael Keaton answers, and I'm just thinking, did he go to the wrong house? Like,
that's what I thought. I was thinking, did the bad guy finally figure out who Peter Parker was and just kidnap the girl's family?
Oh god, no, but that was funny. But no, there's other things as well, like the bit where they're in the Washington Monument and the lift breaks and Spider-Man's like got the elevator thing and he's trying to pull them up and he's trying to hold them up, and I'm like, you fucking moron! Why don't you just lower them down?
Well, because if you lift them up, you can drop them further.
If you lift them up, it creates tension in the scene because there's more danger because it's fucking stupid and unsafe.
Well, what he could do is, when it breaks, he could like shoot the web down, and the web will make a little hand trying to reach down to grab the elevator.
Not to mention the danger that when somebody's crawling through the elevator door, it could at any point just break and cut them in fucking half. Just
like in the what was it, Resident Evil movie? Where that lady sticks her head out the freaking door and like the elevator starts like dropping and it goes up and freaks her the fuck out. Yeah. elevator phobias.
TR.
Sup?
So what do you
Not
think about
much.
Brexit?
What do I think about Brexit?
Yeah.
Good fucking riddance, right?
No, there's a lot of contention over here, particularly up the north. I'm not sure if Natalie's familiar about this. I'm sure you're familiar with the DUP.
Yeah.
Okay.
The political party that's now going into coalition with the Tories.
Yeah. They're like, I believe them and their opposition party, Sinn Féin, they're like really going back and forth on the border because they're like, well, how should we approach it? Should we go like soft border, hard border, build a wall around the area?
Mm. But
it's funny as well. It's funny as well because that area, I believe, was Remain during the Brexit votes. Them in Scotland.
Well, I mean, fucking Ireland of all countries should know like how terrible it is being part of this huge ethno state and wanting their independence.
More or less. Then again, you get apologists like, I don't know, Ian Paisley or whatever.
Oh God, like I know. I'm going to be very careful with what I say on this fucking show because I know they're going to try and twist it to be like, oh, look at this racist.
Yeah,
like,
it's that whole Ramoners camp, where they just really cannot accept the fact that England is leaving.
Oh, you're leaving? Well, it must be because of immigration. It couldn't be because of anything else. It couldn't be because the EU is facing record youth unemployment.
That and how should I put this as well? That and how do I want to say this without being insulting? England always did have a pride to it.
I was gonna say, just say it. You don't need to worry about being insulting. Just fucking say it. This is a free speech zone.
Unlike the
Donkey
EU.
boner. There, I said it. Now, no, it's just like when it comes to EU countries, England always felt like the one that didn't really obey the rest of the EU countries. Like Germany tells us to jump, we'll jump. England, on the other hand, will be like, fuck that shit.
Well, it's because
this is the land of Johnny Rotten you're talking about here. Come on.
I don't want
to be the troublesome.
I don't want to sound cocky or anything, but like the UK, out of all the countries in the EU, they do tend to be the country that is like the most better off. So we just think, hang on, why do we need the EU then?
Well, that and as well, like with the EU, like once you're leaving, that's really going to put a thorn on their side.
Well, yeah, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with wanting national independence and sovereignty. There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh well, yeah, we obviously did, and we took it by force.
Yeah, well, the smaller your government, the more power you have over them. The more power the people have over their government, the better the country is run.
Yeah. Well, then again, you have to deal with like European apologists like Corbyn. Oh, jeez.
But TR, communism works. Forget the millions of people that have died under communism. It works.
Oh, the Red Army will rise again. We are taking
in
a bunch of college students called Antifa. Surely they are not pussies.
Anyway,
sorry for hijacking the conversation, but
the Death Note. Did someone write Brexit in Death Note? I mean, is that what's going on? Because I mean, I've heard the talks are just kind of like keep on like faltering out, and they're talking about soft exits and how like what was it, the someone who was connected to the Japanese Prime Minister was talking with Theresa May, and the EU heads didn't like that because they're already creating like all these trading deals, and it's almost like an abusive relationship where it's like you're twisted and you're told, oh, you're worthless without us, you need us, and when they try to like leave the relationship, the other person tries to sabotage it.
Yeah, they did that with the Lisbon Treaty with us over here, where they gave us a treaty to sign, like the whole population. We said no, and they pretty much said, yeah, you're going to vote yes or else.
Yes, yeah, this is exactly what I have in my notes when I was doing research, right? In 2001, Ireland overwhelmingly by 53.9% voted, to reject the Nice Treaty, and they were made to re-vote. And then in 2008, the Lisbon Treaty, it was 53.2% said no, and they were made to re-vote. So it's like
well, it's weird as well because, like, in Ireland, I believe it was 80% of the population preferred the EU to like leaving it.
It's like, how I don't understand how you could be a part of the EU, have this happen to you twice, and still be like, oh well, it's better to be in the EU because democracy.
Well, there is benefits to EU. I mean, going through an airport with an EU passport is just a breeze. And I mean, hey, got me into Holland in July. Got all the ganja I could find. I tell you, it's some of the finest shit you'll get out there. I mean, never mind all the Moroccans and Turks around everywhere. Just take that stuff and you're in a whole different dreamland.
Everybody's friends.
I'd rather take the extra half an hour going through airport security though than to not have a fucking job.
I don't know. I don't know. The passport comes with advantages. Then, since I know you're not part of the euro, but it is really handy. I mean, you don't have to change any of the currency in your wallet.
Oh dear.
So,
I don't know. I don't know. I just sound like a cuck right now for the EU.
So anyway, what
opinions are fine. Opinions are like assholes, and we're all assholes. So.
Oh yeah, obviously. So what were you going to talk about before I hijack the conversation?
Death Note, of course.
Oh no, I was going to talk about Silicon Valley's war on quote-unquote alt-right figures like Lauren Southern and all that shit. Like her Patreon account getting shut down, and Discord going after any alt-right groups that are on their, I guess, platform. I guess.
Well, yeah, and the fucking Google memo scandal.
Yeah.
I know. How dare this guy put cited science inside of a memo? But here's a question. I mean, nobody can really identify what the fuck the alt-right is. I mean, everyone says that we're alt-right because we do something on the red pill, and it's like, no, we're anti-identity politics. Kind of like to think for ourselves. Kind of like to look at different types of facts. But I mean, everyone says it's either racism or it's white nationalism, and then other people on the other side say it's just a conservative movement, and it's just the terms are so mangled.
Liberals get the bullet too.
What?
Liberals get the bullet too.
What bullet?
That was what that was what was graffitied on by Antifa on a bunch of walls. Is liberals get the bullet too? You're either with us or against us.
Oh, well,
in between.
Antifa, so.
Slime published a hit piece telling people there's a civil war coming and you need to pick a side. It's I don't agree with any side actually. Why can't it just be,
How about everyone who has any type of rationality just sits back and let these assholes just kill each other off?
My original plan.
We'll all be at the pub smoking some ganja that Transmission Rory's gonna steal from Holland and bring over to us. We'll all have a grand old time, watch the world burn.
It's funny how a lot of Jews are apparently part of the alt-right.
I mean, like Ben Shapiro and Milo Yiannopoulos.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you'd think that about the Jews would have a problem being Nazis.
Just a bit.
Did you see that poll that Sargon did as a joke, where it was like, okay, only alt-righters reply to this, but if you had to choose who to kick out your country, Jews or Muslims, who would you pick? And about, I think 78% of them chose Muslims.
Jesus Christ.
Well, that's not usually an unfounded opinion. A lot of Europeans have that, especially concerned with the whole migrant crisis that Merkel did.
Oh yeah, another joy of the EU.
Yeah, I think we got less of the brunt. I believe our quota was we had to accept 4,000 of them. That's because we had to get a low amount because we're having our own housing crisis here. We can't even house our own.
Oh, yeah. You guys are talking about German turtle lady.
Yeah, Angela Merkel, the German chancellor.
The German turtle lady. She looks like a fucking turtle.
She does.
Well, then she looks like she has this permanent scowl on her face all the time.
So do turtles.
It's ridiculous. So I remember seeing a picture of her posing with a football team, and she was all happy and stuff. And I think this was on Mock the Week or something. And everyone was like, "Oh, look, she looks so happy there." And I was like, "Yeah, that's probably because the economic and migrants that are coming in, stealing everyone's jobs in Germany and raping all the women. She doesn't have to deal with any of that."
Well, like Germany's argument for the whole thing is like they're saying, "Oh, we're having an older population. We need to bring in the migrants to sort of do the work." But I'm just thinking, why not just take the approach of Japan? Don't bring in any of them and just start letting encourage your young people to shag more. I mean, that's what literally Japan did.
No, Japan is a great example of an independent nation. They were independent for hundreds of years. They closed their borders. They wouldn't let anyone in or out. They had specially designed boats that when they got a certain distance away in their shores, that they would sink. So, nobody was allowed in, nobody was allowed out. They didn't trade with anyone. They were completely self-sufficient.
That's called isolationism, though.
Yeah, I know. And then in the early, I think it was like the 1800s or something, the Americans went over there at gunpoint, right? With Japan only had like samurai swords and shit, but Americans went over there at gunpoint and basically
especially Tom Cruise
forced them to open their borders and trade with them.
And it's called the Meiji Restoration.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why they had such a grudge against America and why they bombed Pearl Harbor.
Well, hang on. They weren't completely shut off trade with the West. I remember they did a lot of trade with the Dutch and the Portuguese during the 1600s. In fact, their word for Western learning was grandaku, or Dutch learning in Japanese.
Well, this was before they'd come up with tentacle porn. They had to get their thing from somewhere else.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, you look at calamari, you're obviously going to get a turn on.
The Japanese were like isolated, and they were like, "Oh, fucking, we got nothing here. What's the closest thing we got? Oh, fish. All right, let's fetishize fish."
Well, it's longer than any of the Japanese men's shafts.
Oh dear. All right.
We're moving on.
Oh yeah, so I guess Ohio State University revoked a student's PhD or something because she had faulty. I guess did a faulty study about how video games correlate to real life violence.
As in it doesn't.
So
here's the thing about
the Jack Thompson approach.
Yes, here's the thing about video game violence. They keep on saying that video games cause violence, but then they keep on using the word aggression.
Mm-hmm.
Video games do make people aggressive. Watching sports makes you aggressive. Watching a violent movie makes you aggressive. Listening to heavy metal makes you aggressive.
There's a study that says
movie makes you aggressive.
No, that just makes you ill.
That just makes you stupid. No, but I mean, there's a popular theory amongst sociologists and scientists and stuff like that, and they say that Japan has some of the. I know I keep going back to Japan. But,
Jesus fuck, woman.
Now listen. Japan has one of the lowest rates of rape in the world, right? And they attribute it to their readily available pornography that's everywhere. They're very open about their pornography. They advertise it everywhere. They sell it everywhere.
Vending machines and used underwear.
And it's because people can take out their sexual frustration in ways that don't actually hurt anybody. And a lot of people are saying that it's the same for video games.
Yes.
It actually reduces the amount of violence because it's a way of getting out your violent tendencies without actually hurting people.
It's cathartic. Yes, you can take out your violent tendencies. You can take out your, especially male youth aggression, out on Call of Duty versus going out and beating someone up.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, she was saying that accuracy in a video game is the same as real life marksmanship, and that the guy who did the shooting at the Washington Naval Yard did the shooting spree because he was incited by video games or some bullshit.
Having shot guns, there is no thumbstick.
No, it's a lot different.
Yeah, especially the recoil, the fucking noise, the smell.
Listen, I think there's something to the study, right? I was playing Cooking Mama the other day, and now I can't stop making food.
I was playing Rayplay the other day, and I just can't. Oops.
Well, I was playing Slate Trader the other day, and now I can't stop putting chains on people.
Oh, Jesus.
I was playing Pussy Crusher the other day.
And now you want to whack cats with a bat.
Yes. I'm just putting cats in bags and just... All right.
I was playing Angry Birds the other day, and now I just can't stop throwing birds at walls.
And pigs. All right, we're gonna let Kahuna go and bring in someone else, but we'll keep Transmission Rory around just a little bit longer so we can segue into another bit. Duke CT asked for the next dibs, so I'm gonna send them on our way. Is there anything else you wanted to bring up, Kahuna?
No, that's pretty much it.
Oh, come on, you got a couple minutes here. You can voice your concerns and go back to Death Note if you want to.
Well, I guess you guys get banned on Patreon. You always have Hatreon.
Hatreon?
Yeah.
Oh, really? That's a thing, huh?
Yep. Some guy decided that since Patreon's cracking down on people for free speech and all that kind of stuff, he decided to make his own thing, which is like pro free speech.
Hatreon.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm kind of shocked. I mean, I'm more concerned about Google and YouTube having these weird algorithms that take certain liberties about hiding certain bits of information. Quiet, Duke. I'm talking. back of the bus.
Oh, dang it!
Sorry. Oh, come on. We were even talking about shit like Japanese hentai and stuff, so we gotta cover everything in this. Anyways,
at this point, oh gosh! So
I lost my train of thought. Holy shit!
Don't worry,
weird algorithms and shit.
Right? The fact that Google is kind of like a monopoly on information, and if you type in something like DuckDuckGo and type the same thing into Google, you get vastly different results. Of course, it's different search engine, et cetera, but you also see things like Breitbart and other news sources show up in DuckDuckGo versus never even appearing in Google. So it's kind of a scary time. Now, we did get demonetized on YouTube as far as certain things saying, "Oh, you're not advertiser friendly." You know what? At the most we've ever gotten was $10 a month, $20 a month on YouTube, Google AdSense. So yeah, thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah, I just think it's fucked when they're going after Patreon, which is people, actively supporting, not advertising or anything related to that. Or, people's own PayPal's accounts gotten shut down too.
Yeah, which is why I cash that fucker out routinely. But no, we appreciate the help with CCS. We're not getting rich on any of this stuff, and you're supporting Mel more than us. But it's because you guys help pitch in a little bit here and there, especially you guys who are 10 and up. Bless you. The fact that we can afford art like the sketches and shit that we do, like the Zoe Quinn versus Notch and the new Sypha and Cyclops, and doing some stuff for
and Kid Mel, which is fucking adorable.
Yes.
Oh yes. That's great.
Yep.
All right. Hello, Kahuna. By the way, hello.
Hey.
Duke's telling you to get out of here. It's my turn, woman.
Well, since I am black, and I do
no, you don't say.
Then again, I do have cable, so.
Oh yeah.
All Rosa Parks on our ass.
I don't need cable.
Oh, soon.
Who needs cable when you have the internet? Honestly.
Well, you'll miss out on great TV shows and such, like that new Star Trek Discovery show that looks like a complete pile of crap. Or
you mean the Seth McFarline one?
No, the other one.
Oh, Discovery.
With so much lens flare, which is that the calling now? It's just like the future equals lens flare. The
future is brighter.
The
future is brighter, man. The future is brighter.
Yes, it is. Anyway, first off, I gotta give a shout out to you, Transmission Rory. Made me a nice new Duke City Lounge podcast picture. Thank you so much, man.
Dude, show that shit.
My pleasure.
All right, okay.
Kahuna,
you're off the island.
I really hate to vote people off the island. It's fun to talk to you guys. But yeah, you should go. You're like that one guest in a party. It just stays too long. I'm joking. No, thanks for dropping by though. We appreciate it. And if you want to keep chatting inside the YouTube chat box, we'll keep answering questions.
All right.
I mean, hell, we're doing 2 of these this month. So.
Well, yeah, exactly. We'll do this in a couple of more weeks.
Yep.
Don't leave in the pout. No.
I'm fine. I'll talk to you guys.
You sound ejected.
Bye.
Oh. See, Nat, look what you did.
Oh.
I'm joking.
Oh, by the way, I put the pic up on Discord. By the way, if y'all want to go see the private, it looks great. And so yeah, it's really
sexy.
cool. Yes, it is. So shout out to Transfer War for that. Thank you, bro. By the way, thank you.
Those are nice
My
Photoshop
pleasure.
skills. That's one thing I could never do in Photoshop is a neon sign.
Well, my
What you get when you're the bachelors?
well, there's been interesting stuff. You all did talk about the latest podcast.
I thought you were going to say neo-Nazis.
No, whoa, no, neo-Nazis. No, that's so I'm not going to talk about that personally, not yet. But I was going to talk about your other podcast about Castlevania, which was really good.
Thank you.
And it's interesting how Netflix, and you're gonna see this more often though, about they're gonna have more original like IPs or everything else. Because only place I would see something like this working is probably on Adult Swim. I'm gonna be straight up real with you. I don't see Nickelodeon or anyone Viacom or anyone making something
Disney.
like this.
Disney XD.
Well, I read this article recently. Apparently, like Netflix is $20 billion in debt, all because of the funding of their films.
Oh well, but they're making their money back. I mean, they are having $1 billion in profit, and it's always you always got to have a healthy amount of debt in companies. So I'm not really thinking that Netflix is going to be, it's not like as bad as Sony right now, which is
at least Netflix is making shit that's palatable.
And by the way, Natalie, I think we are going to be vibing with you because I did not like Spider-Man Homecoming. I didn't like it.
Hey,
see, we're vibing. This is the thing we're bridging together.
This is no, because right, everyone I've talked to, like, I don't know what you talk about. I thought it was amazing. I'm like, but was it though? When I go see a Spider-Man movie, I want to see Spider-Man. I don't want to see Tony Stark popping up every 5 minutes. I don't want to see constant references to the Avengers.
Yes. Oh, even better. Where was Jonah Jameson? Where
I know.
Was Harry Osborn?
Unless they get J.K. Simmons again for Jonah Jameson, just leave him out.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty much true. I mean, in fact, it was another YouTuber called Sean James pointed this out. It's like it's basically Miles Morallis' story. It's basically that story in a nutshell, and it's just putting Peter Parker's story right into Miles Morales.
They whitewashed Miles Morales.
Yep.
they whitewashed.
Reparation.
No, because Miles Morales, because he's a black Spider-Man, so they race swapped Spider-Man, and now they're just like whitewashing him again. So it's less whitewashing and more just cleaning off.
Dang! So he's whitewashed, and then he's forgot about. It's it's still a way. That's what I call Disney magic right there.
No, do you know what else pissed me off as well? Is that obviously because it's Disney doing the movies now, there were constant Star Wars references, and I was like, no, what are you doing?
They own Star Wars, by the way. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Well, it's any different to
Dude,
all products in their movies.
Duke, did you know that you can buy the Lego Star Killer thing, whatever the fuck it's called? What's it called? Death Star. Do you know you can buy a Lego Death Star now?
What kind of nerd are you, Nat?
For only $29.99?
Yeah. Often, exactly. it's just like watching the Netflix Castlevania series, and you hear about poor Trevor Belmont being forced his family, having to kill all those monsters and vampires every day, and then being excommunicated by the church. It's
Wait,
just,
what? Where did you hear that?
I don't think that was never covered in the series, was it? I mean, maybe it's hinted at.
God. Oh my goodness, that is wow.
The fact that every fucking episode of that series just kept on drilling in your head. Oh, your family's been excommunicated by a church, and you hunt monsters for generations. It's like, we get it. We fucking get it. Every fucking episode they mention it at least twice.
And maybe
there's 4 episodes, right? It's hardly likely we're going to forget.
Yeah.
Well, this is an ADD generation, so they're thinking like, they might actually forget, and they're like, and I could just see it right now. They didn't. I guarantee some articles like they didn't really touch about Trevor Belmont's past. I guarantee there's still one blog out there who's actually like, saying, being real. But like, no, a sad part is about this 4 episodes, we never really gotten to know Trevor Beaumont's past or anything like that.
Someone commented on our podcast video, like, did you guys not know that there was actually a scene in there that covered that his family had been executed? And it's like, okay.
The joke over the head.
Yeah, that's exactly what I put there.
Well,
and someone else commented as well, something like, the show was too slow paced for me. I couldn't really. And I'm like, it's 4 fucking episodes, mate.
Yeah, that's actually paced. I think it was like too short. It was like I was really getting into it. And that's the end, folks.
Yeah, it just kind of stops where it just gets interesting.
Yeah,
they were like, oh, it's a bit too slow paced. I'm like, mate, it's 4 episodes. What the fuck?
It's not like it's like 40 episodes or something, and they just they got together and they just meander for like 39 episodes or something. But
you know what? I like a slightly slower pace. I mean, just look at the latest episode, the latest season of Game of Thrones, and how it's just breakneck. There's very little character development. Like the previous seasons, it's just bam, 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 plot point, and it feels like it's so rushed. And
with the Thrones season, how many fucking plot holes are there in the story?
Well, it will all be explained in the book, right?
Duke, they're beyond the books now.
Don't worry, they'll fill out the pictures and they'll be like this. Oh yeah,
it's because Martin is such a lazy fat ass. He can't write his own books anymore.
Are you fat shaming, sir?
Why are you doing screens on Arizona where you can be writing fucking books?
Well, maybe he's trying to. It's like maybe he's like, you know what? I'll get it done. It's like when the Half-Life 3. It's like it will be done when it's done.
You know what? Though
this never done, Duke.
This new season, the main problem is only 6 episodes or 7? It was 7, wasn't it?
Yeah, 7.
Yeah, 7.
It's only 7. It's only 7 episodes. Like, it's why? Why did it? You needed the extra 3 episodes.
Okay, they did this. I remember a decade back with The Sopranos. They cut the final season in half, so 7 episodes for the beginning, 7 episodes for the last season.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm betting the last episode is going to be, it's going to be this is going to be a huge D&D campaign by a really pissed off dungeon master. That's what's going to be. It's going to peer through. It's going to just be some 4 kids for the same people from Stranger Things too, just doing a very pissed off.
It's going to be
Jesus! I fucking get mad if that happens.
I will be just dancing like.
Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones at the moment has the opposite problem of The Walking Dead, which is Walking Dead's first season was great, but then they gave the season. Then the next season they gave it more episodes, so they had to take the same amount of story and stretch it out, which is why you get episodes where nothing's really happening. Whereas in Game of Thrones,
Walking Dead had talent behind it as well. Like director of Shawshank doing a showrunner.
Yeah,
fuck yes.
But then the Game of Thrones is the opposite. It has the same amount of story, but with less episodes. So everything's packed, and you're not given room to breathe.
Well, here's the problem as well. I find with the 5th and 6th season, or the majority of the 6th season, a lot of it was filler. It just felt like, we're going to give you like a minuscule information, and the rest of it is just kind of filler until the main information hits you.
Yeah.
Are you talking about Walking Dead or Game of Thrones?
Thrones.
Okay.
Actually, and to that Thrones ending, I just thought a funny one. What if it's just that Bugs Bunny cartoon where he goes, "Ain't I a stinker?" What if it's just Martin on his books writing this terrible ending, just going to the audience, "Ain't I a stinker?"
Oh, the Twitter alone, I would just be there, just the popcorn in hand. It would be beautiful.
I just keep picturing the George R. R. Martin troll face.
Even better, Walking Dead. The main Sarah's dude, it was that he was in a coma the entire time. He just woke up like huh?
Oh no, the creator has gone on record and said that that's not going to happen.
And that would be amazing, and I would love it.
He's heard that theory so many times that he had to actually go on record and be like, "Nah."
But I bet he's like, that's why he is. He's trying to do a swerve, and then when it does happen, he said, "I got you." And I want to see what would be the reaction of just all the Talking Dead fans online. Would it be like, "Wow, that was a good ending," or would we just be, what would be the last ending? It'd be like bad as the people react to the Mass Effect 3 ending, or it would be just be like 10 times as that. I don't know.
Because
Because
like the Sopranos ending where it just cuts to black.
and then he wakes up in the hospital and be like, what? It was all just a dream. And his son was like, didn't have his eye ripped off. He was in
Is he ending the
Comet.
Wizard of Oz?
Yes.
I had a horrible dream, and you were there, and you
died, and you died.
And I will be just like, yeah, I will be yelling. It will just be the greatest day of my. I'll be like, yes, 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 and I would just yes. Oh, I will be just loving, and I will be screen capping a ton of people pissed off on Twitter. I'll just be doing like a video compilation. Just everyone being mad on Twitter, just doing video compilation over all of it. Just me just laughing at every single one of them. Because I don't care for The Walking Dead. Never. I tried to care for it, but I'm just like, at the end of the day, it's just zombies and people just falling out and mankind failing on itself, which is just, you can only watch that for so long.
I think a lot of people just stopped caring about The Walking Dead after Series 4, where it's just like, God, nothing is really happening. Like, the zombies are not even a threat anymore. They're just like a nuisance. It's like, oh, there's a zombie in the background. Bang, just shoot him off screen. And let's go to the real trash. This random guy with a baseball bash.
Or whenever they need dramatic tension, they're out in the middle of like this open field, and the guy turns around, there's like a horde of zombies that they didn't see before, just like the Cyclops and Castlevania.
They need to drop their books or something. You know what? Maybe they were just looking at their their cell phones and like, holy crap, the zombies. Which, by the way, I'm surprised no one actually got their updated like Twitter or anything else in that world or something, because the zombies weren't really, they probably at least got some type of internet back up there, or something. Thinking, I wonder what type of world would it be like? What would YouTube be? It would just be nothing but zombie pics or anything else, like zombie every 5 pages or anything else. Zombie, zombie, zombie. Oh, look, a video about someone bashing the SJW. Zombie, 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 zombie. Oh, look, someone's making a video about Sailor Moon reboot and zombie.
Oh, it'll be like that Simpsons joke where there's the zombies take over. You are listening to ZKBT, Zombie FM Radio.
You are listening to
So that's
radio, and here's human music.
Well, that's pretty much
human music. I like it.
Oh, yes, Luke, yes. Oh, yes, his ear is here.
You need to clean that fucker, man. Get a Q-tip.
Yeah. But let's see. Well, you know what? Actually, speaking of us tied all that stuff back and get some like a somewhat serious topic. Remember that article I shared you on Discord, Laughing Man, about the whole Google segregated valley stuff?
Yeah, I remember reading that one. And
oh yeah, it was actually interesting, and I actually looked over it again, and it's and it proves I do realize that why I have so much contempt for the social justice warriors and the left in general is that they do not practice what they preach. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, they will only put just a little bit of these, like, oh, we'll just give you a little something. Meanwhile, oh, you want diversity? Oh, we just got these white women, so we're good. What about like black women or some Latino men or some black women? Oh, we got like some black women age just way in the back.
They're working in the mailroom.
Yeah,
so
well, it's like, it's like, what is it? Is it BuzzFeed whose staff is actually all white women?
Yes, and it's
largely, yeah.
Yes, we're diversity. I'm like, well,
there's like one Asian woman in the back,
like way all the way in the back, or even better, than
she's the janitor, and they're just like, get in for the photo.
She's like that one guy on that one Avengers, Rick and Morty.
just
the John Henry stand-in?
Yeah. But that's what it is. It's easy to say that we're so pro diversity, we hate these races and stuff. But where if you're so pro diversity and all that stuff, where are the black people or black men or women or Asian? They're
all in the cast of Spider-Man.
We keep them in the closet. We keep them in the closet and bring them out when the photographers come.
Yes, they're just basically, actually, we don't really hire any of them. They're just waxed dolls. They're just one of those wax bosses.
Duke, what are you talking about? The company of BuzzFeed are made up of at least 486 genders.
I know. I shouldn't be pushing, go punching down on them. I'm like, but if you keep acting like you're so high and mighty and everything else, and you're saying you're all this stuff, but sometimes you gotta just knock them down the peg.
It's called virtue signaling.
Virtual signaling, which will probably be the end of everything. They'll just say, "Well, we're great," even though you're not doing anything. So it's like one of those memes, like I saw this one meme was it's like Tuxedo Mask and Sailor Moon's like, and there the days and say like, but you didn't do anything. Exactly. It just fades away.
It's all just smoke and mirrors, because at the end of the day, they're the actual real racists. They're the ones who think that everyone else thinks this way.
But that's it is what it is. But putting positive and such. Wonder Woman's made a ton of money, which is good because I like that film. And DC is coming right back, and I don't know how many people keep trying to bring me down
until Zack Snyder fucks it up in November.
Oh no, they got Joss Whedon and oh,
he was on Gal Gadot from the start.
Well, at least according to his ex-wife, Joss Whedon is the pinnacle of feminism.
It wasn't Joss Whedon's fault that he cheated. It was the patriarchy.
I read that. I was like, dear Lord. Talk about the dudes just say, I'm sorry, baby. And then next I'm banging like 15 like other women and such. And
I was gonna say, and you know what? I honestly think that Joss Whedon's ex-wife hit the nail on the fucking head when she basically accused him of just being a feminist just to get more pussy. Well, I mean, how else do you explain a male feminist?
An alien wizard did it.
But then again, if it's trying to get laid, what about Movie Bob though?
What about him? He's irrelevant now.
Damn.
We could write a documentary series. Whatever happened to Movie Bob?
And who cares?
I see. We wound up with a buffet.
No, you'd have to have a prequel documentary called "Who the Fuck is Movie Bob?"
The guy who
the extended trilogy. Who the fuck is Movie Bob? Where is he? And why the fuck do you care?
Y'all care when he's gonna come out and he's gonna be like, he's gonna probably be woke and 2 or 3 years later, he's gonna be like, he's gonna jump on the alt-right train. I bet 2 years from now, you hear it first. Movie Bob's gonna join the alt-right train and try to get relevance that way. Because he's like,
wouldn't it be funny if Shia LaBeouf came out as alt-right?
Oh, I don't think, at this point, I don't know what he is. He's been first he was trying to.
He's just fucking
plant a flag.
He's just fucking
it on him.
He put his
I know
flag.
what Shia LaBeouf is.
Mm-hmm.
Shia LaBeouf is fun, pure and simple.
And he is.
And
he is actually just—he's just fucking insane, though. I think he's genuinely mentally deranged.
I think
I think it's more of an art performance he's putting on.
But at the end of the day, maybe deep down, all he wants is some French fries. That's all he probably wants.
You know that thing that Jacqueline Phoenix did a couple of years back to get a bunch of attention, where he went on Letterman and was all spacey and shit and wearing the big fucking beard and dark glasses.
You mean Joaquin Phoenix?
Whatever his name is. Yeah. That's him. The guy. That one
River
guy.
Phoenix's brother.
Call him Jacqueline Phoenix, whatever. Anyways, that guy.
Jacqueline Phoenix.
Jacqueline. It's
see, we're trying to breaking us down, man. What is these purplish words or anything else? Just call him Phoenix, it'll be just fine.
There you go. The bitch boy and fucking Gladiator.
Or the dude who did
the inferior Phoenix brother.
The guy who wanted to shag his phone.
Or the guy who tried to do his best Johnny Cash impersonation.
That actually was not a bad movie. I don't know how accurate it is, but it wasn't a bad movie. We need to let TR go, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, we've run out of air, so we have to
get late over here.
Excuses. We just don't want you here.
Nobody wants Rory here. Not even Rory wants Rory here.
Well, judging by your avatar, you got more important things to be doing.
Laughing Man, it's a Sunday. I can't drink.
Oh,
change religion. You got 2 of them up there.
TR,
I can't do it on the Sabbath.
TR, it's technically Monday. You can drink now.
Yeah.
Jeez. Vodka and Smirnoff are a dangerous mix.
And then
Anyway,
next
I'll
you know,
start
you
off
wake
now.
up, and then Transformers War is gonna wake up like next to a couple of sheep next to Laughing Man, and he's gonna be right in Montana somewhere if he does that. So
Oh, speaking of Montana, get this. Went to the local Starbucks, right? And like right next to the Starbucks is like kind of like an empty lot, and this guy was selling like these big, like they look like bath towels, except they have like stuff like Marilyn Monroe and weed and all that kind of shit. And right next to the Starbucks is a gigantic Confederate flag. And if you look at the Starbucks at a certain angle, it looked like the Starbucks was flying the Confederate flag. And get this, yesterday I drove by there to grab like a little bit of coffee because I am a Starbucks whore, unfortunately. But there was like 6 police cars outside of that place, and there was a car that was crashed right next to where this guy was flying the Confederate flag.
oh,
And I was like, okay. I went up to the barista and I'm like, what's going on out there? And they just kind of shrugged and were like, well, we heard a lot of different things. And it's like, you're not going to tell me what you heard then, huh? No. And it's like, whatever.
Anyway, I'll start off now. Talk to you later.
all right, peace.
Later.
Bye.
See.
And with that, the alcoholic is gone. Now we can have the beer.
Sorry, I only drink hard liquor.
So, Spider-Man.
Yes.
Right, Spider-Man. So I
What a
found,
complete goof, isn't he?
honestly,
Do you
I
know
like
what, though? I feel like everyone's shitting on Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, but like I think people need to show more respect to the Spider-Man who raised us.
Damn straight. But yeah, even Amazing Spider-Man, I liked him a little bit too. I mean, he wasn't terrible. The movies
Yeah.
themselves,
I think
well,
the best analysis I heard is that Tobey Maguire was a very good Peter Parker, but not a very good Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield's a good Spider-Man, not a very good Peter Parker, whereas this new guy is a good balance between the two.
exactly. It took us a couple. I mean, same with Batman. It took a while to find someone who does both well. Michael Keaton, then again, we started off with Michael Keaton, which was a pretty good Bruce Wayne and Batman.
Michael Keaton's a hell of a lot better as the Vulture.
Yeah, well,
Oh yeah.
I still say maybe he could have been Green Goblin.
No, I like the Vulture angle just because it was like he's not really a bad guy. He's just a guy who's just trying to get ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and not only that, but he was just he wasn't this old inventor, like this old decrepit old man trying to do these things and such like that.
Because the guy's just like an entrepreneur, small business guy, and he's trying to make a living, provide for his family, and all of a sudden the government comes by, slaps in a regulation, and he's like, you know what? Fuck this shit. Yeah,
Kind of like it's kind of like the EU, isn't it?
So he's
But
basically
he's a villain you can identify with. So
Yeah,
it makes
he
him
was
really
cool.
Yeah.
And he was, by the way, I do like the way he was only featured, but the way they built him up and everything, and screw spoilers. I like the fact that he's trying to protect Peter and everything else. So it's just like, man, he respects him, which I'm hopeful that they'll actually do the whole, the Sinister Six with Kingpin. I want Vincent D'Onofrio in the movies, man, because he is just. I know he's Daredevil's villain and all, but originally he was a Spider-Man villain. He was a Spider-Man villain, so why not have him, be the dude to just, have the Sinister Six versus Spider-Man and Defenders.
probably because he knows who he is.
Yeah.
At least the Spider-Man fan knows who he is, really.
Yeah, and and not only that would be actually interesting. By the way, I can't believe they had to kill all Shocker though.
What?
Yeah, they had to.
That was a fun twist, really.
And they didn't even put him in this. I don't know why he didn't put him in this like jobber costume. And it's just funny how this person who's so powerful loses every time to Spider-Man. I'm like, wait a minute. Shouldn't he sold these much blasters and everything else is powerful, electronic, wave and all this other stuff? He still loses to Spider-Man on the regular.
When did he lose to Spider-Man? I mean, he lost like at the end when his suit blew up, but he mostly got away and kicked Spider-Man's ass.
Oh, speaking of suits, I didn't like the part of the movie where he gets like the Iron Man Spider-Man suit.
I hate that. That just takes away from him being a his AI suit.
Yeah.
It just takes away his agency. Spidey thinks about these things on the fly. He's clever. He's this, that, and yes. This is just basically a mini Iron Man. And you know what?
Well, that's just it. It was like a rehash of the third Iron Man movie where, you get all these tools and all these gimmicks, but at the end, it's really all about you.
Didn't he actually say in the movie, if you're nothing without the suit, you shouldn't have it?
Yeah, it was a callback.
Which is honestly, you know what? No. I was like, man, Tony, sit down. Get away. Just go.
It was annoying. It was, again, because I don't really watch the other Avengers movie. I'm not really into it. So when I go see a Spider-Man movie, I want it to be a Spider-Man movie. I don't want to have to look at fucking Captain America's face all the time and have Iron Man pop up. I don't want that.
They got real cute. And honestly, I got to say this: Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, while I do have has its flaws, I think it got a little cute in the areas as well. But it was really I thought it was actually pretty decent and probably better than Spider-Man Homecoming. It had more of an emotional connection to its characters. And my hope is that they actually continue that. And that's the real key there. It's not just how many times things blow up and how the things, it's about emotion, it's about the characters. And same thing with Wonder Woman. They had that as well.
I have a quick question. What was your favorite casting of the Spider-Man movie?
Either Michael Keaton or Tom Holland.
Yeah, those two.
Okay, my favorite was The Flash. Mostly because he was the most tolerable version of the Flash I've ever seen in one of these movies.
No. I told you this was going to happen. The Flash, this Flash Thompson, this 5-foot midget. Yeah, I don't care. He is a midget and a 5-foot midget who does not have any physical threat. He's just this. He's like honestly Ben Shapiro without any of his charm. That's pretty much of this.
I was like the new age. He's a smart bully who sets a funny rap to make fun of Peter's name.
No, he's like
Penis Parker.
Wow, that is so edgy. Jeez Louise, he's not even close to being that type of edgy and such. If you want, why can't? And this is the same dude that will eventually become Venom, by the way. Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
No. Venom. They've got Tom Hardy for the Venom.
Oh
movie.
God, that mush mouth idiot from Mad Max.
What? I love Tom Hardy.
Movie though, wasn't Tom Hardy Shocker?
No, this is the thing. I kept when I was saw it at the cinema. I kept thinking, is that Tom Hardy? And then he died, and I was like, okay, go Tom Hardy.
No,
he does look like him though.
Yeah, but
they
Tom Hardy
as Venom.
and by the way, Venom in this thing will not have any connection to Spider-Man, which is like, wait, what? Isn't Venom and Spider-Man, two
mortal enemies?
Yes, and two sides of the same coin. In fact, it was Venom, the whole black suit. Well, pretty much started the whole Secret War thing, and and then back to Eddie Brock, which he wasn't even mentioned or talked about at all in the whole movie, by the way. So yeah, I can't wait how they're gonna try to tie this stuff in to the whole Spider-Verse and such.
Well, it's just this Spider-Man movie. You can tell it had Amy Pascal all over it, with the ultra diversiness and the SJW slants that were in there, like when the new Mary Jane character. Yeah, the new Mary Jane character when the teacher was like, "You want to go up there to the Washington thing?" No, I don't want to. I don't want to go up on a monument that was built by slaves. And it's like,
bitch, please shut the hell up right now.
Thank you, Duke. Thank you, Duke.
I'm like, shut everything I mean, if you want to talk about that in the entire aspect, you will not set foot in almost anything on the planet. Yes, slaves and everything else fine. Let's move on. Don't be sitting there this smug and leader attitude. That type of stuff.
You're not. So you're never gonna see the fucking pyramids then, because they were built by slaves.
No, they're built by aliens.
They were officially now built by farmers. In the off-season.
Farmers and aliens, and
Yeah, so no slaves attached to the pyramids anymore. That got retconned. I don't know how you retcon reality, but you can.
Oh well. Yeah.
Why the fuck would farmers build something like that? They're out farming the fucking food that keeps everyone alive. They don't have time to move gigantic.
during the off season, apparently they made these bricks and then moved them over there.
It's Egypt. There is no off season. It's summer all year round.
Well, they
It's
have
not like it snows.
Well, you know. Oh goodness. Speaking of weird weather patterns and such,
Maybe it did back then. Climate change.
I keep hearing rumors of actually someone trying to try to do a revamp of Captain Planet, and I'm thinking I watched some of it. It's not all the way terrible, but if they could just cut down on some of these things, you know.
If they have like Chris Hansen appear halfway through.
Yeah, I do think they should. I don't know what you would do to make this. I know it's a little bit terrible in some aspects, but how would you? Anyone else in the chat or anyone else who's going to put this like on the wild cards on the YouTube? How would they fix it? I want to hear people's thoughts.
How do they fix Captain Planet?
No, how would you reboot it or something?
I got it. You make it a hard R reboot and make them all eco-terrorists, like in that chicken episode.
Captain Planet sees like people drilling off the coast of Mexico and is like evil and blows up the fucking oil rig.
Oh my gosh!
It'd be kind of like a cross between like Captain Planet and Hancock. Oh shit! Now there's an oil spill.
Well, yeah. And then he takes care of it, and he's like, and he spills it on some terrorists. Oh, he just uses it and pisses on some like terrorists or something. He pisses oil or something like that.
You know how you do a hard R reboot of Captain Planet? What you do is you just have like this old hippie who's stoned off his ass just masturbating in a corner for an hour and a half.
Oh gosh. But
or get his cock stuck in a tree. I'm not sure which one.
But honestly, it's just I actually read some good stuff about fan fiction stuff about Captain Planet and such. Is they could do the whole Voltron aspect of actually having them actually have character development and have like the inner struggles be with themselves, and then eventually have to face a monster that actually has to form Captain Planet. That sort of thing. They don't, because that's the only way I think you could do it if you want to realistically do it.
It'll just be the Power Rangers reboot.
I was about to say that.
It was fine, by the way. Some things that could have changed, but yeah, I liked it.
I mean, just, troubled youth, a diverse cast, of course, because that'd actually be exactly how it was in the cartoon series. And then they take this big green peace tree branch and just beat the audience over the head with it mercilessly for about 2 hours.
I thought you were talking about Captain Planet, not the Increase Truth.
Same thing. Captain Planet's Al Gore.
He bores people to death then.
He gets Man Bear Pig on them. He's the main enemy.
All right, I'm gonna head out right now. So it's been fun, and it's always fun. I'll see y'all next week. And hello, little Kit Kat, by the way.
Hey there.
And I'll talk to y'all later, Discord, chat, or whatever. And then I'll get ready for my own version of streaming, which is going to be on my YouTube channel. And I complete Mass Effect's The Pinnacle Station because I have no life. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.
All right, cool. And hope to see you again in the second thing we're doing this month. So we'll see you towards the end of the month.
Peace.
Yep. Later.
Bye.
Woo. Hi, Kit Kat.
Hey there. Sorry, I was just listening. Can you hear me?
Better be sorry.
Well, I hope the birthday money helps with the peace offering.
Yep, I've already spread. Thank you for the birthday money. I appreciate it.
It will probably be going towards his medical bills.
Yes, probably. Because, insurance doesn't cover shit. But what I'm planning on doing is it was a bit of money that I wasn't really comfortable in taking. So we're going to have Mel draw a custom art piece, print it out. We'll all sign it and send it back to you.
Well, that just means I'm getting 2 prints now because I also sent her money. So now I'm going to get it when I go to the Comic-Con.
Oh, wow.
Wow, you set the fangirl jackpot.
I know. see, folks, you get more done with money.
Capitalism.
Yay, capitalism.
Money all around. Oh, that sucked. Okay. Let's talk about
you want preferential treatment? Well, welcome to reality, kids. You got to pay for it.
The only true actual thing that denotes privilege is money.
Yep. Have you guys ever noticed how there's all of a sudden like all the people who were in like the Occupy Wall Street group kind of got fractured and to all these little identity politic things after they went after Wall Street? Now being the haves and the have-nots is no longer a thing. It's like, wow, seems like the rich kind of did a whole divide and conquer on your asses. And that, folks, is why they're rich.
I just got a notification through saying it's Wade's birthday today.
Happy birthday, aggressive duck, you anti-Semite.
That was the most ridiculous fucking shit. Just because we posted that picture of Anita Saki as in apparently we're anti-Semitic now. Oh, and because we
talked
had
about circumcision.
I forgot. You're not allowed to say anything about little babies' penises getting cut.
Poor babies.
But you're not supposed to talk about girls' private parts getting cut off either. So
true. Where's the line?
So anyway, what are we talking about?
Death Note, I think.
I could join in on that.
All right, why not? I'll just write my name in the notebook right now.
Sure. Doesn't work. That's one of the rules. No committing suicide with the Death Note.
Oh yeah, that was it.
What rule was that?
There's rules on the thing of what you can and cannot do.
It came up in the prologue chapters of the manga.
Oh, I guess. Huh. Dies peacefully in his sleep, surrounded by his loved ones at the age of 212 in full health.
Right, which actually got retconned in the live action movies now that I think about it. So I guess there is a lot of I always forget that word. Well, reason
creative license
change the rules for a new movie.
I have no idea what anyone's talking about because I have never watched or read Death Note.
Oh,
I only read the not anime manga. I watched a little bit of the anime, but the ending of it really ticked me off, so I just stopped watching it altogether.
That's what usually happens. No, to the people on L's side.
Oh yeah, everyone flipped shit when he died. Oops, spoiler.
No, not really.
15 years old. Who cares?
How
old is
it? That's what I remember. I remember there being an interview when like the third Hobbit movie came out, and Martin Freeman was saying, yeah, so when the dragon ends up dying, and the interview goes, spoiler, and it's like the books have been out for 70 years. You fucking moron.
Well, it's like when you're standing in line for the Titanic. And you're like, I can't wait to see when the boat sinks, and some little prick is like behind you going, dude, spoilers. And it's like, what else is synonymous with the word Titanic besides fucking drowning? Iceberg. That's it.
What's stupider than that is the fucking people that think the Titanic didn't actually happen. It was just made up for the movie.
So it's a conspiracy, is what you're saying.
Get Alex Jones on that.
I need the X-Files mix in here.
Speaking of which, what'd you guys think of the Alex Jones skit in the Castlevania episode? I laughed my ass off when I made that, so sorry.
Alex Jones skit?
Yeah.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water. They turn the freaking frog.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Because there's this whole entire thing where the CNN basically like found the troll who made that Trump body slamming skit and just flip shit. They fucking hunted this guy down.
Oh yeah.
And they basically like coerced an apology out of him and said they're going to withhold his identifying information essentially as long as he doesn't do it again. So they were like threatening the poor guy, and it just caused this gigantic troll firestorm on the net a couple months back where people were just photoshopping CNN logos just getting trashed and shit. So I had to throw my hat in the ring. I had to go after both sides in this one. Make fun of Alex Jones and make fun of CNN.
It was well played.
Danka.
Look, we're gonna get called out from the alt-right for supporting Alex Jones, and we're gonna get called out for the left for fucking. Oh, why are you?
Other way around. We're gonna get called out by the alt right for calling for make.
Listen. It's 22 past 1 in the morning. Okay, fuck off.
Okay, Jeff Jeffries.
Also, I've already had my mother come in here and yell at me for being too loud. So.
Oh, that reminds me. Hon, can you close the door for a moment? Just real quick. Shut the hell up.
Excuse. Hold on a second. My mom's calling me. Yes. Hi, Mom. Okay, I'll try to keep it down.
No.
I'm talking with my friends, Mom. But Mom, no, it's not even 9 o'clock. It's not 9 o'clock yet. I don't have to go to bed yet. There's no school tomorrow. Fine. Just close the door when you leave. Hey guys, I told her to kiss my fucking ass.
Don't worry, ask my boyfriend to close the door.
Right.
Okay, it doesn't matter. No, it's the... Oh,
Okay.
God.
All right, so here's the primary problem with the Death Note movie. All the characters were changed to the point where you could change their names and you wouldn't know that it was that character anymore.
Pretty much.
Their personalities were different, their attitudes were different, backstories. It was essentially as bad as Dragon Ball Evolution for trying to
I've
follow
heard of it.
Right.
Oh, dear Lord.
Like, if they kept L the same, it would have been interesting, because then you would have gotten to see a very different story where Light's not necessarily as much of a villain.
Yeah. I mean, at least keep a character dynamic. Again, I haven't seen this yet, although I'm planning on checking it out after we're done here.
I'm going to try and check out the very first Death Note movie. Probably.
Japanese one?
Yeah, the Japanese one.
That one. Yeah,
Well,
those are really good. Yeah, they have an amazing.
But of course, that kind of doesn't that also retcon the no suicide thing, the original Japanese movies?
I think so. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I just like the ending of the original anime Death Note, where it was just like very, very poignant. I mean, it was just really, really good. Him Light running away from the cops and the lighting and the sunset and good stuff.
It was a nice ending.
No, I've only saw the manga version of it. Like I said, I should probably actually watch it.
Yeah.
So I know the
Anime
full.
comes back as a ghost to taunt L as he dies, or to taunt Light as he dies. Sort of.
I think it does
You know,
the
it reminds
same-
you know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of originally in Rocky 5, they were going to have Rocky die in that street fight at the end, and just before he died, he was going to see a vision of Mickey. That would have been the fucking stupidest thing ever. It would have made that movie even worse, which is like practically impossible.
I don't know. I'm going out on a whimper. Although I have to say, I'm glad they didn't, because the 6 Rocky movie and the Creed movie are freaking great.
Yeah, I think it's like Sylvester Stallone kind of took a look back at Rambo and Rocky and was like, yeah, I kind of fucked those up, didn't I? So he made like one more movie.
Especially at the end of the third Rambo movie where he joins the Taliban.
Fucking hell.
Whoopsie!
He joined what would become the Taliban.
Definitely too young for this conversation.
At the time, they were the good guys.
Jesus. Wait, who's coming on next?
NG.
NG.
Okay.
Yeah, but we got time.
We got time for that.
We got time for
Well, I'm on topic, so it's okay. I can just leave.
Well, dude, you finally show up after months of radio silence. At least get to talk.
Okay. I went to an anime convention.
All right, you're out.
It's been a very awesome 4 months or now, like a year
4
now.
months?
Yeah, a year now. Wow, time flies.
Oh, I was going to say you're at an anime convention for 4 months. I mean, is the tentacle porn that good?
Oh,
Yes, it is. I just wish I wasn't traumatized by it.
But you can be traumatized by it.
Yes, you can when you're 14 years old.
Ha! I was way younger.
There's nothing wrong with me. Oh boy. Anyways, maybe we should cycle in some new blood here. NG, you got rid of your CCS avatar, and who's this imposter?
It's not an imposter.
It's an imposter.
It's Joker. He made me a new one.
How? Joker. How dare you? I'm you know what? Mel Fubu was talking about, doing some co-podcasting with Joker, and I'm just gonna be like, yeah, you know what? He's stealing our fans. No. No.
I still have the other one. I just want to show this off.
I'm like Fubu, we need to keep our fans because they're starting to go to this Joker guy. So Fubu, draw more dicks.
No, you're not stealing them. If he was stealing them, I wouldn't be here at all.
What? You mean capitalism isn't a zero-sum game? How dare you? That's not what Mark said. How dare you how dare it not be a pie and you can grow the pie?
You mean keep the pie to yourself?
No, how dare you be able to be fans and contribute to other things besides just one?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm on my faulty shaking, crumbling soapbox here. Anyways, I'll put down my my book here.
Good point.
You'll just put that back underneath your bed while it's still one piece.
Just like the dildo. I mean, whoops.
I didn't hear anything. Nothing at all, officer.
We can edit this, right? This isn't live.
Only like 12 people are watching this.
Really?
We can pay them off.
7 people now.
Oh, don't worry.
But anyways, we could always talk about Death Note and why it's a dumpster fire of shit. But there was one story I did want to talk about, and it's kind of funny and scary at the same time.
Canadian feminism.
I wish they'd been awfully radio quiet today.
Damn.
Is that a thing? And I'm
But
Canadian.
it's about a woman.
Since when is a feminist quiet?
Well, they aren't doing anything out of the ordinary, They're still
Okay.
shouting patriot. Nothing too noteworthy. But there is a story I want to talk about. A woman
Okay.
who was apparently having sexual relationships with children, was recording it and then selling it to a man on the internet. And the only reason she got busted was because she gave her phone to her neighbor who was playing Pokemon Go for her.
This woman didn't happen to have a fidget spinner, did she?
I never saw it.
Someone old enough to have sex with children and sell it on the internet and then playing Pokemon Go?
That was forever.
But yeah.
Pokemon Go is so 2016.
Hey.
Hey!
That's
Come
how I
on.
would play it.
Or we can talk about, L'Oreal sacking their first transgender, racial diversity, I don't fucking know, person.
Okay. Why isn't transracial a thing?
I don't know, because people want to feel more special.
I mean, I've always wanted to play in, the NBA, and that's never going to happen.
I think they did
Well,
make
unless you
fun of
grow
that
several
one
inches, I don't
point.
think you're going anywhere.
Maybe it's
think
because
Go ahead.
it just offends the shit out of people. Okay, well, who is that one woman from my neck of the woods who was like the leader of like a black organization? Turns out she was white.
Rachel
that,
Dolezal?
Her.
that
I think I've
thing.
heard of her. What's her name?
Now let me Google
Rachel
it. Give me
Dolezal.
a second.
No, we don't need to get in politics now. Just not outright. Not outright.
Not all right.
We're not outright, just right, as incorrect. Whoa.
Oh, boom. Rachel Dolezal. However you pronounce that.
Why is Kahuna Drake in the chat typing in Segi emoji tits?
Did she really?
Don't use periods between the parentheses. Use a lower circle. Makes them look a lot more buoyant. Like this.
All right.
Look how much more jubilant they look.
Are we seriously just gonna fill it up with like tits?
Nice.
But now she
Guys,
looks
more
around
asshole.
for pepperonis for like nipples.
We might as well just fill it up with tits because the minute Jake leaves, I'm gonna be the only one here, and then it'll just be nothing but tits with you three. So
Might as well.
You like it. But yeah, it looks like she's got pepperoni for the nipples.
hold on a second.
What are you doing? I don't like that laugh.
Do it.
I'm trying to figure out how to do a goat SE. I'm hoping that
what?
works. A goat SE with emojis.
Oh my god.
If you need to know what goat SE is, go on an internet browser and type in goat and then put period SE.
Do I want to?
Yeah,
I'm
of
brave enough
course.
I'm brave enough to do it. I don't care. What is it?
Go.
Oh God, here we go. Bring your mom in. Sure, what kind of friends you hang around.
I see sites that tend to get a lot of flack from internet providers usually go with the thing. So
SE, you said?
Oh God, she's really doing it.
Don't do it. It's about to be
Don't
a
do it,
porn
Angie.
site.
Just
I see it. A meme.
just.
image.
Oh, God. Can you see the tonsils?
Hold on.
All right, Luke, we're gonna.
I'm typing it. Wait, hang on. I'm typing it in, and all I'm getting is this foreign fucking website that's got something to do with goats.
I'm just seeing a whole lot. Oh, yeah. Okay, I get it now.
Laughing man?
all right, I'll see you in a
Fuck
few
you.
minutes. Bye.
Let's try this one.
Oh, God.
I looked at it.
Bye, Luke. Sorry.
Okay, right.
Fuck you, laughing man. I did not need that in my life.
Okay, so
Speaking of
No, this
feminism,
that didn't bother me.
speaking of gaping assholes, feminists.
They're awfully radio quiet, actually. It's kind of scary.
You're talking about your story. Did you wrap it up, or
listen, you guys, right? I just typed in Goat SE, and after being redirected to this fucking weird ass website, it's like, no, it was literally just like some foreign websites about goats, right? I typed it into Google. And
Oh god, you saw it.
No. I was greeted with this image, right? Let me I need to post it on fucking Imgur because otherwise, like,
I've already seen it. I don't need to see it
just
again.
just paste it into the Discord chat. That's what it's for.
Okay, let's find out.
Don't
Might as
do
well
it.
get more traumatized.
No, don't do it.
No,
It's
no
not worth
undone. I'm not going to maclover.com. I'm not going to Blue Waffle. I'm not going to Lupin.
You are an
It's on
asshole.
That's the
laughing
one
man.
I saw.
Ellen, you suck.
Matt, are you looking on Discord?
Pee Wee Herman.
You did that.
Oh, I'm gonna die because of this chat.
All right, and Angie. Anyways, your story. Continue.
Which one, the L'Oreal Paris one, or the one who got busted for child porn?
Yeah, we've already heard the child porn one.
Yeah, let's go with the first one, then the second one.
As if we couldn't get demonetized any further, we're actively saying child porn on fucking Google.
Whoops, my bad.
Good people do not do child porn.
Duh.
Wait, you're saying Bill Clinton's not a good person?
Well, I am Catholic, so does that help?
Nah, I think that makes you a bad person.
In a certain context, yes.
I'm also German. Well, from ancestry, Germany.
Am I the only one with no German ancestry? What about you, Nat?
Yeah, I'm part German.
God damn it!
So does that mean we're all a bunch of Nazis?
No.
My great grandmother, who was the one who was from Germany, she was part of the Hitler Youth. It
Oh,
makes
so
you feel any better though. Literally everyone in my family fucking hates her because she was an ugly fucking cunt bitch.
Hence why she's in the Hitler Youth.
No, she abandoned my fucking grandmother when she was like 2 years old, showed up back at her doorstep when she was about 30 and said, I'm sorry. And I promise I'll leave you everything in your will if you come out once a year to Australia to look after me, which she did for the rest of her life. And then she died last year, and we found out that actually she was lying about the will. She just left it all to some guy who we didn't know. So fuck her.
Oh my god.
Now that is a Nazi, folks.
That just reminds me of. That's a lot of beeping. Discord is going off.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ, stop with the Discord.
Sorry, we're dicking around. Get Discord. Undone
you're a
put a
bunch of
picture in there
assholes.
that has eyes above the goat SE, so it looks like a big gaping mouth. And Big Chief TOF and I are trying to fucking get it off our screen as fast as possible.
Is it a picture of Piers Morgan?
Oh my god. Oh, you cannot see that. Does anyone got some brain bleach on them?
Kuna Drake's like, Ree!
Oh my god. But yeah, one of the stories where I put it. Yeah, it was a transracial woman. They fired her after their Yours Truly True Match campaign. From what I can read on the story. However, they sacked her because she said something particularly racist. Apparently, she deleted it, so I'm trying to find the comment itself to see how bad it was. But I can't find it.
Wasn't it like, hang on, wasn't it something like racist against white people, and that's why everyone's complaining she was fired?
It was pretty much like that to pretty much all white people.
Oh, wait, here we go. According to people, the model wrote, honestly, wait, I'll see if I can do my best black impression. Sorry, Duke.
Wow.
Honestly, I don't have energy.
Oh
to talk
my
about
god.
Stop. You want me to get my mom to do this? She's lived.
Can we get our Patreon shut down?
If my mom could do better black man than you can, Angie.
It's a woman laughing man. How insensitive are you?
Okay, just don't do
normal.
that ever again.
Hi, Leslie Jones. Thank you for putting black women back about 40 years.
Here, I'll just read it normally. Honestly, I don't have energy to talk about racial violence of white people anymore. Yes, all white people, because of most of y'all don't even realize or refuse to acknowledge that your existence, privilege, and success as a race is built on the backs, blood, and death of people of color. So yeah, they sacked her for that, saying, yeah, no, that's not part of it. And then she tried to backtrack with this. When I stated that all white people are racist, I was addressing that fact that Western society as a whole is a system rooted in white supremacy, blah, 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 racism, white people suck.
When I meant all white people, I didn't really mean all white people, you know, just most of y'all motherfuckers.
Jesus.
But yeah, she got sacked after that, and she blamed the white racist.
How did I not see that one coming?
So I guess it is a feminist Black Lives Matter story. Yeah, well, it all comes back together again.
Does that mean if I move to Zimbabwe, does that mean that everyone in Zimbabwe will have black privilege?
Maybe, possibly.
Maybe.
Well, because
I don't know.
Because apparently privilege is racism is power plus privilege, right? And the black people are in power in Zimbabwe, so obviously I can't be racist in Zimbabwe.
That is true.
You do the same thing in China.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah,
Japan, if you ever get down there.
I have been to Japan.
How oppressed were you, Natalie?
Oh, I was so oppressed. You know, the locals were like, were saying, you know, do you want me to speak English to you? And I was like, oh my god, they just fucking assumed my nationality.
Hey,
There was a couple of Japanese people asking me where I was from, and I was like, oh my god, triggered.
yeah, that's because they have signs out in Japan that say no Americans.
Wait, seriously?
Do you know, I actually,
Yeah, I've
yeah,
seen
yeah, no Americans allowed.
Triggered.
No, but you know what? I had people constantly when I was working at McDonald's coming up to me saying, "Where are you from?" Because they thought I was like from Eastern Europe. Shit, and be like, "Oh my god, it's being racist, triggering me. How dare you assume I'm not English?"
They thought that you're Eastern European because you didn't shave your mustache.
Which provides me.
Is that like how people? Is that how the boys at school used to think you were a woman because you don't have a penis?
Oh, that was just hilarious. That yeah, you did. You came up with that one all by yourself. That's fantastic. You're really doing your gender a disservice, you know, by just going straight to the dick, just like the Ghostbusters movie. Oh, this man's being threatening. I'm gonna cut off his dick. This giant ghost is being threatening. Shoot him in the dick. Take away his dick. You emasculate him. You bring him down to our level. Take that, patriarchy. Your balls are now ours. All your balls.
All the balls belong to
Hey, I was gonna say that.
I use them as a decoration for my Christmas tree.
I have your balls as matching earrings. Except I turned my head too fast. And one of them stuck in my eye. I get the piercing pierced the ball, and when I turned my head too fast, I gave myself a money shot. It's all over the side of my face. People think I have egg on my face, but it's not egg.
What do you mean?
It's baby gravy. And yes, that's why feminism is for everyone.
Oh, Mercy.
So ladies, hashtag Lorena Bobbitt did nothing wrong.
This presentation has been brought to you by Salon.com.
Mercy.
All right, while ladies are wetting themselves.
Don't know that you were just saying it's such the most monotone face.
It's because NG, did you laugh too hard? You got a ball in your throat? Nat told me a joke once. What did Cinderella say when she got to the ball? I thought it was funny. But I only thought it was funny because I still am attached to my penis and testicles. I haven't had them cut off yet by a progressive feminist who wants equality for everybody. Hence why she wants my balls in her purse.
Thank God you said purse.
Well, I can't say mouth because that goes against the feminist creed.
Okay, I'm done. Jesus Christ, you two. You know, we were trying to have a serious discussion, and then all we just goes back to being balls.
I'm being very serious. This is my serious voice.
Having fun.
Oh, come
See,
on.
look what you're doing. You're killing Kit Kat.
You all know that you would love to have a little shriveled velvet purse to put all your coins in, or a couple of strategically placed walnuts.
Don't mind laughing though, ladies. He's had a very difficult time. His family has been fighting monsters for generations. He's just been excommunicated by the church.
God damn it, Natalie. God damn
All
it.
right, I'm sending an invite out to Jacob.
You ruined all.
You ruined everything.
Where is the bastard? There he is.
Oh, Jesus. We can just talk about Death Note then. That's cool.
Please. Please. And if I die tonight, just know I love you.
No, Kit Kat, don't go towards the light.
We love you too, Kit Kat.
Okay, can you stop with the Cinemax impersonation?
What do you want me to do?
No, don't you dare. Don't you fucking dare.
I'm already shirtless. Don't make it even worse.
You mean my sexy voice made you shirtless?
Oh God, don't give him an ego. He already has a big one.
Oh,
I'm surprised he can go into rooms.
sorry, your voice isn't that sexy. That will be reserved
The
for.
panties will drop in 3, 2, 1.
Okay, cut it the fuck up.
Although you're very good looking, definitely.
Yes, my cartoon is fantastic. All right, Jake, invite is sent to you on Patreon. Let's keep this train moving.
Yep. All right. Well, Kit Kat, what do you want to talk about?
I mean, the train is moving towards Auschwitz, but let's keep it moving.
God damn it, Nat!
And
You're
you
on
wonder
a
why people
roll.
call us not right. Oh my God. God forbid that we're edgy, we're satirical, but people are like, oh my God, you're a racist. It's like, no.
Apparently, having a sense of humor nowadays is being a racist.
We love all races. We just don't think that they should be together.
Well, don't say that in front of my boyfriend.
And that's called satire. All right, let's get some new people in. I'm going to send an invite out to. I already sent one out to Jacob. I have not seen him yet, and I'm going to send one out to. Who else we got? We got Demon. We got Big Chief. We've got Christina Phoenix.
Okay, which one of us goes?
Well, Kit Kat, you've been here the longest, and you're the one who is apparently needs to go find her shirt.
No, I.
So we'll let you go.
Okay, fine.
Bye, Kit Kat.
We've given you enough laughs to last another month.
Ish. Until you finish your video. Then you'll give her more laughs.
Okay. Just still tell Fubu I have more gifts for her.
All right, we'll do. Hopefully
Okay.
they're. I don't want to say it.
Hey! You know it's my birthday, December 20th.
Oh, give me your PayPal.
Jesus. Hey,
I'm
Angie.
I'm kidding.
No,
Angie,
I'm not joking.
What?
my birthday is every Tuesday.
Yeah, right. Nice try, Matt. You're willing to
good
try,
try.
but you fail.
All right, I'm gonna bring in Big Chief, and I'm gonna bring in.
How many people do we have left? Like,
We got Big Chief, Christina Phoenix, and I believe
Joe Bob.
Demon, and Joe Bob says he doesn't have a microphone, so he's trying to get in with text chats. But we can text chat with him. I'm keeping an eye out on his stuff, trying to see if he's gonna pitch in. But Big Chief, TOF, and Jake Leak, both of you guys are invited. Whether or not you're gonna show up is a completely different matter. Was that a
Okay,
ball
well-
in your mouth that you're coughing? Okay, I don't know how the hell this happened though, but Jake just gave us an extra $10 a month. Jake,
Holy shit.
were we that offensive that you actually laughed? Big Chief.
Hi.
Okay, Big Chief website is called Two Girls One Cup.
Don't.
Oh.
No.
I've heard of that. I don't want to look that up.
NG, you sound like a Montanan sheep. No, please no. No. I was saving myself from marriage. I
And that's finding Castlevania.
I was saving myself for Muhammad.
couldn't get
You don't save
Montana.
yourself for Muhammad. He just takes what he wants.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Okay, I'll
Beat
go.
this type anyway, then it goes after 9-year-old.
All this laughing is making my voice crack.
Okay.
Oh god.
Okay.
You bastard.
I couldn't get it out. I was laughing so hard. See myself for marriage. I want to wear white at my wedding.
I need
Well,
to
now you're
invite
gonna have
my
to wear cream
bride.
color.
Okay, I gotta go.
Wendy's girl, aka Jacob. Good taste in avatars.
Hey, what happened?
Good tasting kicks.
Yes. The more of the shit that I read on the Wendy's Twitter most recently, because I was kind of out of the loop. Oh, the more I wish that they'd bring her back. I love that level of sarcasm, sass, and kick.
I know, right?
Well, hopefully they bring her back, but since it's starting to get a little crowded in here, I'm gonna peace out.
Yeah, I'll peace out too. Okay,
All right.
sorry.
Thanks for joining us, ladies. Glad we made you laugh. That's what it's all about.
See ya.
Okay.
Yeah, killing us with laughter, you joker. Bye.
Well, as long as you put like more donations in the will, I think we're good.
AKA, give me more money.
Oh, by the way, you assholes are welcome.
You have what?
Oh yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
He
damn
said we're
right.
welcome.
Oh yeah. I saw that and I was like, oh wow.
You come play nice, I'll double it next month.
Holy shit.
Calm down,
here,
bro.
Catch the ball, dude.
Ugh.
If you get on your knees and open your mouth, I'll triple it.
No, I'm not that cool.
So, kidney stones.
Fuck off.
What'd you name it?
It's
He didn't keep it. He flushed it
Oh,
down the
really?
toilet.
I wasn't gonna make a fucking ring out of the thing.
You're supposed to keep it and take it to the doctor so he can figure out why you had
Mine's
it.
sitting on my dresser right now. I'm saving up to get a glass case for it. I need a Ulysses.
It's like in South Park where Randy keeps the shit that he did and he keeps it in a glass case.
I got video of it, me passing it when I was 8. You guys want to see it?
that's a good conversation starter.
I don't want. When you were 8, you said.
I fell off a slide and broke my arm, and I didn't realize it for about 3 days. So a kidney stone developed. I'm lucky it didn't. I'm lucky it didn't cut through my heart like a goddamn needle. Developed, and it came out. It was the size of a grape.
Hmm.
I don't need to see an 8-year-old boy pushing a grape through his penis. So no, you can put that in the dark. You can put that in the dark web where it belongs.
I don't see a fully grown woman pushing a pink loaf of bread out of her snatch either. But there you go.
Jesus Christ!
It's because I'm eating dinner. I just got home from work.
How can you eat while you're saying that?
Fucking, I was eating.
8 months, dude.
I watched the second Bob
Is
movie
anybody-
in AW.
Like an image of what an 8-year-old kid looks like after they've gone through a chain link fence. Go to your local deli and look at all the ground beef.
Gross. But oh well.
Well, this is a Wendy's girl, so
Oh, is that what they put in the burgers?
that's called the Dave special.
I'm pretty sure it's Broken Dreams, which is why everybody works there.
Aw.
You know, the weird thing is, everyone always gives Wendy's shit, though, but I think it's actually quality burger.
Oh yeah, they're great.
The spicy chicken sandwich. That spicy chicken sandwich, oh, to die for. Anyways, Kahuna Drake, you're asking how size a kidney was. Yes, it is a weird question. And about the size of a pencil eraser. Yeah, I know, it wasn't exactly giving birth, though, but still felt like a fucking, like, cockaburg was going through my system.
One of my buddies at work got a kidney stone like a week before you did. So it's contagious.
I guess it must have been so all the way up for that last stretch. I must have blocked it out.
Oh, I was doped up on some pretty good shit that last bit. Because it was like between the kidney and the bladder, and it was kind of like in the middle there, and that's when I was in total pain. But then they gave me something. I have no idea what the fuck it was, though, but it was some good shit. I didn't feel nothing. I was yeah, no, I was just singing DuckTales, just like when I smoked pot for the first time.
And the first time I had weed, it was really weird because it didn't really affect me until I took a shit.
Oh, wasn't supposed to come out that end.
More or less.
No solid mass. No solid mass in the front.
Topic. What the hell was I going to talk about? Oh, right.
Yes, anything but kidney stones.
Okay. You guys already talked about the Death Note movie, right?
Yep, but the train keeps rolling. Everyone has opinion about it, so let's hear yours.
I haven't seen it. I don't really care.
Nice setup.
That is a good answer.
Everyone wants to talk about Death Note, right? Well, I got an opinion. I don't give a fuck.
I heard about the anime when I was in I must have been like, what that came out in like 2006. I was in 8th grade when that came out, and that was when all like the horror movie montages on YouTube started happening. I thought those were great, and then one of my idiot weed buddies told me there was an anime about a guy who writes in a book and people die. And I was really excited to see, because I thought it was going to be this big, interesting, creative like spree, because I love anime. I love how creative everybody can be. And then I saw the anime. I saw 3.5 episodes of the anime, and then I threw it away. Hey, we got this godlike device that lets me kill anyone however the way I want. I'm going to give everybody I don't like a heart attack. And those files are going in the trash. Oh yeah, that's the whole genius of Kira. I'm gonna set up so like literally every criminal they can find on Google drops over dead from a heart attack. I write them into this book. Quick question: how the fuck does that work on an investigative standpoint? Because people are always saying that what was that freaky kid's name? Al?
Yeah.
It looked like he had never seen sunlight.
Him, yeah.
All right. Quick question. How does anybody actually know that? How did they deduce that it was a serial killer that was causing these people to fall over dead?
Of a heart attack, yeah.
Why did what? Just like I know in Japan the big joke is that Americans are stupid, but you know we bought all their cars for like 20 years, and then the brakes stopped working, so we stopped buying their cars.
These things have to stop too. I can't remember a whole lot about the Death Note series as far as like the intricate plots though, but I think that like they found like a pattern to like what days he was killing people, and like only certain information was only certain criminals were killed, people who've had their names in the news. So if it was like divine justice, it would have been like you know, people who were silently prosecuted would have dropped dead too, but only people who were like, you know, the media starlet killers were the ones who were dropping dead.
Yep.
Yeah, but
So
how's that
like,
equates to a human factor.
Yeah, and I like it. Like I never even saw the end of the anime. Does he die?
At the very end, yeah.
He lives
Ian
forever.
writes his name in the book.
He was. Demon says L was an autistic blessed by Keck.
Yeah, he gets shot. He gets gunned down by the police. He manages to like crawl away, and then Ryuk writes his name in the book as like the very last part of the show.
Yep. Oh, and not to mention L's or Light's girlfriend commit suicide.
Yeah, that part I did not like. I think it was a lot of flash. It was a lot of style, and then the substance was just. Yeah, what's that expression that everybody that played No Man's Sky liked to say? It was as wide as an open ocean, but as deep as a puddle. I like to say that it was about as wide as a teardrop and about as deep as whatever grave you're gonna throw laughing.
At least they fixed No Man's Sky.
Yeah, they seem to have just made Death Note worse from the
all right. Let's take this story with a bunch of plot holes and let's make them worse. It's genius.
You know, I joke about trying to fix what is it, Sword Art Online, but I've actually made some progress with it and the shit that's wrong in Death Note.
Well, if Light would have just like not bit on all the traps that L put out, it would have been fine. Like, you know how like he puts a con out in front and like, you know, puts out the con's name, and he's basically like, you know, daring him to kill him on live TV. If he just would have been like, yeah, you know, I'm not gonna fucking do that, then he would have tossed a complete wrench to the investigation.
Yeah, for a college super genius, he's kind of an egotistical jackass.
Yeah, that's his ego and his narcissism. Totally got his ass.
What the hell's happening in the background?
The dog's chewing a bone.
Oh.
Did a whirring sound? My fans on the fritz, and I have no AC in my room, so.
Ah, crap! I kept a shoe on the end of that bone. Shit. Oh, Watchmen, what?
Watchmen's one of those things that was great at the time, but now that, I don't know, what has it been? 26 years after the Cold War? It's not that great.
Where's that check button? Blasphemy.
Wait, what did he say? I didn't hear.
Okay, you guys do know why it was that the Russians jumped into Afghanistan in the first place, right?
Jumped into what? I can't really hear.
Okay, so in 1985, 84, 85, well, 85-ish, the Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it wasn't quite Great Depression, but it was. You could see it from here. So they invaded Afghanistan to get a hold of the Afghani diamond system. The slight problem was that they didn't expect the local Afghanis to fight back. Now, one of my many issues with that, obviously being written by a bunch of civilian comic book writers, Alan Moore didn't realize the overwhelming backstory between the actual reason why America lost the war in Vietnam, and also he didn't have the probably super top secret classified information as to why the Russians were invading Afghanistan. So he made up his so he went with his best guess.
Is anyone there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh.
Yeah, I think Matt muted himself because he's like, Matt, you got to realize I grew up on Garth Ennis's comics way before I was even introduced to Alan Moore.
No,
I loved and League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, but like Watchmen, I don't know, it didn't do anything for me. I guess at the point that I had gotten it, it's like with George Carlin. The hype killed it for me.
Oh, jeez. Now you're busting George's balls.
Sorry, man.
Jeez.
Man, I got a couple of good chuckles out of them, but I never fell over laughing.
But no, I was gonna say that I'm quiet because I had to go check on the dog and make sure she's disposing of the evidence. Or, I mean, take her outside or the basement. I mean, chains. Torture dungeon. Ah, shit.
Oh, poor puppers.
She decided to challenge me, and then I shot her in the back of the head.
Yeah, I know. Jeff Fu is like, I think Jeff Fu, who runs Mother's Basement. I don't know if you guys aren't quite the level of weeb that I am. So I don't know if you guys know Mother's Basement just released a review on it. I haven't watched it yet because I've been playing Dark Souls.
I watched his thing on Sword Art Online. He had one good point, and then the rest of it was just salt. So much salt. He hated Sword Art Online so much, like so much how a person should not hate Sword Art Online. Like it's not healthy to hate something that much. It was great.
Bro, it's just complete deconstruction of everything wrong with Sword Art Online. Anyway, other thing I wanted to talk about is anybody into tabletop gaming?
Not really.
No. I was trying to get together a group to play this new RPG that came out called Starfinder. It's like Dungeons and Dragons, but in space with aliens and an entire race of mummies that have spaceships.
D&D in space.
Based off the Pathfinder system. It's nerd shit. I was just wondering. I was just asking for anybody to take it. Discord, but for some reason my notifications won't bring up any new messages I get from you guys.
Hey, it was hard enough playing. I had to play like 4 days worth of NetHack so I could do an essay on it for university.
See, your first problem was that you decided to play NetHack.
No,
the second problem was
it wasn't a decision. I had to.
Teacher put a gun to her head and said, "You gotta play this tabletop game, otherwise you're gonna die."
Your first problem is you had a teacher that wanted you to play NetHack. And rather than shooting yourself, which would have been the logical decision, you decided to actually play NetHack.
Well, I need that degree.
You would like your sanity better?
Hey, look, you don't have to be mad to go there, but it helps. Actually, my university, they sent out an email to all the students after Brexit happened, and they were like, "We will continue to be a progressive campus who values the like," and I'm just like, "Oh, for fuck's sake."
We will continue to bring politics into education because we can.
And then Matt was like, and this is when the dream died.
Oh, fucking crazy.
Something I wondered if the $9,000 was worth it.
Yeah.
I should have called in today. I am in such a well of mental and emotional exhaustion right now. Baby Jessica is like, damn.
Baby Jessica?
Baby Jessica. Matt knows what I'm talking about. No, wait, he would have been about that same age. Being held by his parents in the delivery room thinking, oh God, what have we done?
Triple V. I'm going to University of East London.
Good job doxing yourself.
Hey, I'm taking a gap year, so if they're going to look for me...
Don't worry, Jim Jeffries is just going to talk over you, and it's going to be an interesting time for you.
Fuck off.
I don't even know if he's going. I don't even know if he's going to be there. To be honest, I doubt he'll fly all the way. They're probably just going to film it and then just
selectively edit it, just like the Homer Simpson clip.
Actually, talk to people he disagrees with. Oh man, what a concept!
Jeez. To be honest, there's only two reasons I'm going on it. One is for the money, and two is because apparently in the last episode, Bill Burr was on it. So, and Matt was like, "Yeah, you got to do it."
I didn't say shit.
But
I said, "Yeah, Bill Burr's on it." He went, "Fucking do it." I was like, "Okay."
how much did they pay you?
It's like £150.
It's okay,
Only?
I guess.
It's about like $185 or something.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said only. How big is this show?
How long do you have to be there?
I'm not sure, but it doesn't. I don't have to be there till about 5:45. So
I mean, like, how long do you have to be there? Like, do you have to be there for like 3 hours with taping or something, or what?
I don't. I said I don't know, but it starts at 5:45, so it can't be that.
That's a good sign.
My guess is that
Hey.
they're just gonna wheel her in, call you a racist, wheel you out.
Is it
Hey,
gonna be
if
like?
they're
Is it gonna be like the referendum, and they won't let you leave until they get the answer they want?
What you really mean is that you're a racist. No, what you're
Don't
really
worry.
saying
I didn't say that at all. Well, click.
Hey, listen.
Oh,
I'll be
I know
blinking
what
out SOS with my eyes.
she's blinking rock bottom. The Simpsons reference. The clock in the background keeps moving. Because I just imagine them trying to Katie Couric or Megan
I'll be
Kelly.
blinking. I'll be blinking SOS of 1488.
What video was it that I watched? About the downfall of the Simpsons, or how the Simpsons became the zombies.
Yeah.
Oh, we watched that. We watched that too.
Oh, yeah,
It
that's
was
great
like
video.
it was an Irish guy doing it. I can't remember what the channel's name was, but it was a good video.
Eye Patch Wolf.
Yeah, that was it. It was a good video.
Interesting fact, Eye Patch Wolf's whole channel started. You guys remember, like a year and a half ago, I plugged a couple of guys up in Montreal called the Two Best Friends Play, right?
Yeah.
If not, go and watch them. They're hilarious. It's kind of like Monty Python, but with video games. So one of them, literally a leprechaun, short. He's more French than Irish, but short, bald man who's a ginger with the ginger beard, said that he hated, or no, it wasn't Pat. It was Wooly, I think. Big black guy with green dreads. Shit, not. Had a fetish for Reboot. Up and said that he didn't like Hunter x Hunter because it was. And Eye Patch Wolf, being super butthurt over this, goes and makes a video talking about how great Hunter x Hunter is. Slight problem. Wooly was talking about the Hunter x Hunter anime that came out in the late 90s and early aughts, not the most recent one, which is so much better. Oh shit! Here's my nerd showing again. It's like the first Hunter x Hunter anime is Snake's Revenge, whereas the 2011 Hunter x Hunter is Solid Snake. I think like three people in the world just shook with excitement right now.
I don't know. His video on The Simpsons was good though, because I mean, like it really has fallen downhill.
Well, it didn't help that Phil Hartman got killed.
Listen, at this point, like there are more bad episodes of The Simpsons than there are good, by far. At this point,
yeah, everybody left,
and they let it drag on.
It just keeps going and going and going.
Because one day it's going to be funnier again. You know, definition of insanity. Keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. It's gonna get better.
It was kind of the same thing with Family Guy. The early seasons were actual like conversational comedy, and maybe like 10% of it was the cutaways, and now it's 90% cutaways, and then 10% while we're going to be as offensive as possible.
Well, that's partly because that's partly because Seth MacFarlane has a massive fucking ego. He thinks he's God's gift to mankind.
I watched something. I think he's just given up. He wants it to be canceled. The theory was based around when he killed off Brian was sort of like his persona in the series. And basically, when he killed off Brian, he's just like, I'm done, pretty much. Even he himself has said that 7 seasons is like the perfect. Well, it's around the right length of a series. I just don't think he cares anymore for it.
Didn't they kill off Brian and then bring him back like 3 episodes later or some shit?
Yeah, because they got a whole bunch of backlash for it, pretty much.
And then after he brought him back, he was on Twitter saying, "You didn't really think we were going to kill off Brian, did you?" And it's like, fuck off.
It's kind of interesting the fact that they could animate an entire new episode.
He left the show. He went to California to become a
leg.
Hello?
Shut up! I'm thinking. It's been a long day. I've had to put up with people and dumping. I've had to deal with people coming into the store, dumping their kids in the toy aisle to make all kinds of a mess, and then going around.
We pissed off Wendy's. Pippi Longstocking's mad.
Do you know Seth MacFarlane went out with Amelia Clark?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the end of the story. No, but I watched his A Million Ways to Die in the West, and it was so terrible. There was literally one thing in there that made me laugh, and it was when he went into the garage and Doc Brown was in there, and it even had Christopher Lloyd playing him. That was the only bit I laughed at.
Literally the only funny part of that entire movie.
Yep. And of course, it's a throwback referential comedy. Hey, you remember Back to the Future, right?
No, but I laughed because A, it was so like unexpected, and B, I love Back to the Future, so I was like, ah.
So does everybody else. If the worst thing somebody can say about a franchise is that the Western one was a little on the nose, you've made a good franchise.
Can you guys hear me?
Hey, Chris.
How's it going?
Yeah, sorry. It's like Chrome's desktop version was being an asshole, so I had to go trick it through my phone.
Oh, also, is anybody else excited for The Disaster Artist? Or whatever the fuck they renamed it?
I read the book. The book is brilliant and hilarious. I don't know if I give a fuck about the movie.
I don't know if the book has done anything really good because like it kind of ruins the mystique, you know?
Yes. That's what Max and I used to think, is that you used to think like Tommy Wiseau, is he just like, is this an act? Is he just some type of like,
is he really this
really
this bad, or is this some like next level 4th dimensional chess sort of
thing? Because it makes you wonder, because you're like, you know, is he really this dumb and dense, or is this an act, or is he like some idiot savant, or what's going on? And it turns out he is just an idiot. He just doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
I get the feeling that one day your parents are going to go up to you and go, Matt, I'm afraid Tommy Wiseau, he's not real. We just made him up.
just like car seatbelts, right, Nat?
Jesus Christ.
That was the best joke of that whole season, where Flash is like this. You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
No.
Okay, so episode of South Park, I think it's pulled off this big. It's the crack baby Olympics one.
Oh right.
All right.
Where Cartman has built this sport around, I don't know, prize fighting crack babies. Slash to perform at the inaugural game.
And Slash isn't real. He's just made up.
Yeah, Slash isn't real. It's just like my favorite drop from that movie is Cartman sitting in his chair as Craig and, was it Tweak? Tweak or Butters, one of the two. Craig and Tweak are telling him about that Slash isn't real. He's some Dutch snake. He's based on some Dutch on a Dutch saint. Just like he goes, who?
Wunter Slash.
One of our parents. Like, and who's the guitarist for Guns N' Roses? And then Craig goes, one of our parents. That was the best joke in that entire season, and that was a solid run for him.
No, I don't remember that one.
Unlike that one we don't talk about.
Last season.
When is that back on? September?
I don't know if I care. I used to love the show, but that last season was just such a stomp in the nuts.
I'm kind of curious to see how they're going to
season.
recover. No, there is a new one coming out, but like.
What I want to know is,
I think
remember when all the little member berries were dancing and shit to high pitched version of Toto's Africa, and all of a sudden like that little.
So Toto's Africa.
Yeah, the 1930s like car comes in and just like putts around, and all of a sudden there's a bunch of old guys trying to like.
Yeah, what the fuck was?
I wonder if that wasn't supposed to be like George Soros or something, using the alt-right.
What was the point? No, but that's the thing. It never got fucking explained.
It probably won't be.
Because.
Why would it be? Well, I wonder if there wasn't a conflict between the network and between the creators.
No, it's because they thought Hillary was going to win. You can see the episode they scheduled to come out after the election happened. The PC principal introduced Bill Clinton as the first gentleman in the trailers. They called him the first gentleman, and then obviously Trump won, so they had to go back so they were obviously predicting that Hillary was going to win.
Well, that wasn't even the biggest problem with that season. They had this gigantic, long-running narrative that just sucked.
Because they had to rewrite the whole second half to somehow make sense. Because again, they were betting on Hillary winning, and
right. And that if they wouldn't have had that gigantic, overarching narrative and had like 10 episodes or whatever,
that, they were making the game, or it hit that snag with the game.
But it's like.
By the way, Nat, you can look forward to that whenever you graduate.
What?
The fractured but whole.
Oh yeah.
Like there was some kind of, I don't quite remember exactly what it was, but there was some kind of a problem during development, and like half the game had to get half of the game was just lost.
Lol.
Sounds like
Obsidian. Back up your shit, people.
Were they expecting Hillary Clinton to win? Hillary Clinton makes cameos in the fractured butthole.
Like no, they did work for the day. They went home. They came back, and shit was just gone.
Was it hacked by the Russians?
It might have been Putin. I'm not gonna lie.
It was
affected by the gay frogs.
It was Vladimir Putin and the infamous hacker known as 4chan.
You know what's even worse than
while
that?
we're on the topic of last season, like, I am really getting sick of everybody in my gamer circle pissing all over BioWare for the, I don't want to say the stillbirth of Andromeda, because honestly, I came from the 90s. I've played bad video games. I have an entire 40-gallon, or not 40, but like 4 10-gallon tubs of made tubs full of bad video games from my childhood. Mass Effect Andromeda is not a bad video game. It's got some very jarring cutscenes, but it's not a bad video game. A bad video game is something like Fusion, or whatever the hell the Shadowrun FPS was supposed to be. Or like 90% of the PS1's game library.
Bubsy 3D.
Exactly.
I haven't heard that in a while.
I am so tired of all my friends who played Mass Effect Andromeda saying that it was BioWare. It was BioWare's betrayal. It was BioWare's. It was the full confirmation of their sellout to.
Well, it did kill BioWare Studio.
It killed Montreal studio, was it? I think
that was BioWare proper, basically.
Yeah.
BioWare's based in Edmonton. Like
they had a Montreal studio which was handling it, and then they just and then that went back to a support role.
Yep.
After the failure that was Andromeda. I mean, Andromeda kind of evened out. I think the main issue is because everyone holds Mass Effect as high regard, and then Andromeda was a downgrade from that. I mean, it's not a bad game. The problem was it was a downgrade from the previous games, right?
And the hype didn't exactly help.
And yeah, it was way too overhyped for what it was. And then you can read up.
And nobody would know the facial animations. My God.
Yeah,
Jesus
those were relegated to an outside studio, I believe. That's why it was that bad when it released, and then they patched it out later.
Yeah, it's called my 8-year-old nephew.
What was his name? The Indian guy that got out of town and then did this expose piece, and he's now been blacklisted.
Yeah, like halfway through development, the game had to be completely rebuilt, and there was a whole bunch of political, just almost death matches in the studio, and then you had the guy, then you had the guy that was racist towards all white people as one of the project leaders. It's like, yeah, that's a good decision.
He was just a designer, and I don't know why they didn't just sack him that second.
Yeah.
Well, and there was a lot of troubles going on with the Montreal studios in the backgrounds. Like EA was forcing them to use their Frostbite engine. They wanted to do procedurally generated planets at first, and that fell through just because the engine couldn't handle it. And they begged EA for more time, and EA basically said, nope, we've already overscheduled you twice. You're going out as is. And then they deliberately leaked footage to Origin members and everything to try to capitalize on the bucks. Basically, there's a lot of signs that they knew this was a turd, and they went forward with it anyway.
Yeah. The weirdest part, though, it's not really a turd. It's just like a bad Mass Effect game.
Yeah. That's the main thing. It's not a bad game. It's just a bad Mass Effect game.
Well, EA's response is like, "Oh, you didn't match up with a AAA shooter? Take it around, the shed and shoot it."
Yeah. Well, Crypto not being a turd, my son has a character profile that keeps glitching through the floor of the ship that would disagree with you.
Yeah.
What's really disgusting me is like people like the guys that I know. I used to go and game test with these guys. I used to drive up to Minneapolis and St. Paul, and I'd go work at Shea, and I do like play tests. I do QA testing. I know these guys. We're very close friends. Not quite best friends, but we're getting there. They're saying that they're not going to get, what is it called? I want to say it's Banshee, but it's not Banshee. The new game that Bioware Edmonton's announced for the Xbox.
Yeah, I can't remember its name.
But yeah, they say they're not going to buy it because they're pissed off about what happened to Mass Effect. I'm just like even Ultima fans still bought Ultima after it started going downhill.
Uh-oh, the police coming.
It's just okay. So we got a Mass Effect that was like a 6 or a 7. Body da. Does everybody remember? Does everybody remember the stillborn continuation of Medal of Honor? I do.
Didn't they make 2 of those?
Yeah.
Remember, I think it was just Medal of Honor, the reboot. That one was like mediocre. What was the one that was really awful though?
Warfighter.
That's it. Yep, you're right.
Yeah, and then the whole debacle, what happened with For Honor, if you know what happened with that.
I don't know what For Honor.
For Honor lost 90% of its player base in about 3 months after release. Yeah. You can find the most recent debacle is they had a tournament for season 3 to promote season 3.
Yeah.
The guy won the main tournament using a bug that hasn't been fixed since launch.
Yep.
Hey, it's not a cheat if it's part of the game.
This is true.
Yeah, the main problem is that it actually broke the mechanics of the game. It made you do things that you're not supposed to.
Like
yeah, it turned unblockable moves into unblockable moves. It made your guard just not work at all against these attacks.
It was dodge tackling from which Street Fighter was that? Was that Street Fighter 3? Basically, the gist of it is like in For Honor, you've got the directional swings that you do, and you have to match the direction to block it. Well, the exploit is that if you swing, the attack gets blocked. You go back to start swing again, but then dodge cancel out of it. The swing will still carry through, but it's unblockable. You take like full damage from it. Anyway, that's Matt's kicking us out of here. So
yep, gotta keep people moving here. Although to be honest, you four should like start a podcast about this kind of thing because you guys seem to already have pretty good chemistry. So Nat and I are sitting here just letting you guys talk. It's like, all right.
I mean, we could, but
yeah, I'd be up for it. I gotta get
Do
up.
it.
Yeah. I mean, I can make it work somehow.
if you want, I'd be willing to do something like that.
If you got a microphone, that's all you need.
Pretty much.
I'll hit you guys on the Discord. I'll send you my email. Well, I'll send Chief my email. I don't know. I don't think I have Joe on here.
Hey, Joe, do you have the Discord information?
Are you referring to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on Discord right now. I couldn't set up my other YouTube account, but once I get that sorted out, like everything will be linked up together.
Phone.
Cool.
All right.
All right. Well, I'm going to let Jacob and Big Chief go so we can talk to Demon and Joe. So, all right, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. See you later.
See ya.
Yay.
We didn't like you.
Remember,
No,
good. Another raise.
All right. We got Demon and we've got a new guy. So, do you just want us to call you Prankster or Joe or what?
You may as well go by Prankster.
It's Mr. Prankster, damn it.
Yeah, I'm Mr. Prankster. I am the prank master. Not really.
He's here to troll us.
I just pictured the D-list villain from the Superman comics.
Oh,
You feeling sick?
slightly, yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that, dude.
Yeah, it's been hot the last couple of days, and then Harvey came in and it was just like, nah, it's going to be 65 for the next week.
There you go.
So, two important questions going forward. Number one, anybody got any more things to talk about Death Note? Number two, have your families been fighting monsters for generations, and have you been excommunicated by the church?
I haven't been excommunicated yet. The trial did get pretty heated, though.
At least they gave you a trial.
Yeah, I'm working on it. My dad's trying to force it on pretty hard on me. The worst part is that it's Joel Osteen as well. Yeah, I know. Luckily, his debacle with the refugees not opening his doors is giving me some ammunition.
Hey, what? It was okay when J.K. Rowling did it.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Oh man, yeah. As far as the Death Note thing, I mean, it's just another cheap Hollywood cash in. We've seen it with Dragon Ball Evolution. We've seen it. We've seen it with Avatar: The Last Fucking Airbender. And you can analyze this to death all day that you want to. There's factions within the factions. The thing's 15 years old. It was a cheap cash grab. Hollywood has no new ideas, and the only tragedy of it is that Willem Dafoe did an excellent job as Ryuk, and they completely wasted what was essentially a perfect casting.
No.
Pretty much, they just had some spare money lying around. It's like, hey, we can make some extra money on this. It's the same thing with, I think somebody mentioned Dark Tower earlier.
Yeah. Do you know what's even worse than that is there's a Red Letter Media video the other day where they were reviewing the new Annebell movie, and they were talking about this contract for this contest that Warner Brothers Studios set up for the movie Annebell, and it's the most fucking scandalous thing I've ever fucking heard of in my life.
Yep, where they'll pay you $50 if your idea takes off. So man, you
another 50 if they decide to. Another 50 if they decide to steal your idea and make a movie out of it.
Yeah, so basically what happened, for those of you who don't know, you make your own fan movie set in the Annebell or the Conjuring universe, and then submit it to Warner Brothers. And if you get picked, you get to get flown out to LA to meet with the director of the movie,
where you may or may not get to meet the director of the movie.
Yeah.
There's a massive escape clause in that fucker.
And you get to meet with an executive at Warner Brothers Studios. But what they don't tell you is that's in the contract is that if the director or a Warner Brothers Studios representative is not available, then that portion of the prize won't be rewarded, and there will be no substitute. And they will pay you $50 for the rights to your idea. And then if they decide to make a movie out of it or use it in any way, they'll give you another $50, and you will not retain any of the rights to your own fucking creation.
Oh no, you're basically selling your own rights for $50. You're never going to get that back. Once you hit the submit button, those rights are gone essentially.
Yeah. We'll make millions of dollars out of your movie idea. Enjoy your $100
if they pay it out.
Yeah.
Well, and they don't necessarily say they're going to cover the tickets or anything.
Not even a prostitute's going to take that. You may or may not fuck me for $50. Oh my god. So, anything else? That started to kind of like die off there, so we're trying to keep momentum up, folks. Oh
no, that's fine. I'm just sorry. I'm still getting used to knowing when to talk and when not to. There's been a lot.
Just don't. No, I'm joking.
Okay. Yeah. Ouch. No. Actually, there's been some interesting developments in the world of video games right now, particularly with like the high-end failures of like we were just talking about Mass Effect Andromeda. The Call of Duty World War II and Battlefield 1 not doing as well as the studios were hoping. And meanwhile, over in the indie scenes, the Shantae DLC just came out, and that's going really, really well. And Matt, I blame you for introducing me to this. 20XX finally went live off Steam early release, and people have been going nuts over it.
Yeah, and 20XX is some good shit. So is Shantae, though.
Early release still a thing? Or is early release still like... I don't know how else to describe it, a thing. I thought that people were toying with it for a while, but then it kind of got into that whole zombie dark black hole where all those zombie games came out after DayZ.
Yeah, there's a lot of scams out there and some things that were like unfinished.
Yeah, Greenlight has gone away, but at the very least, in the case of this game, Early Access actually did its job. 20XX is kind of an interesting story because it was basically they started at the same time as Mighty Number 9, and they did get a Kickstarter and only raised about $25,000, which they turned around to use to hire a competent art director. And then they spent 3 years painfully playtesting the thing, responding to as much user feedback as they could get, responding religiously every 2 weeks and patching it every 2 weeks, just building and building and building on this game. And now they've got this great platforming product. If you've ever enjoyed Mega Man game style gameplay at all, I highly recommend checking it out. It's only like $15 now. It was $10 when I got it, and me and my kid both have like spent hours playing that thing.
I feel like something like that, unfortunately, and I'm assuming you're right because I haven't played it, obviously, is definitely the exception rather than the norm, though.
It is and it isn't. Like I said, the successes definitely highlight the failures to some extent, but it's still, I guess the point that's being made is like people are finding a way to get their games out without the age of the big publishers, without the Electronic Arts and the Squaresoft, and that's actually a big deal.
Oh no,
because if we can, for every Mighty Number 9 we get, it's worth it to get that 20XX to prove that it can be done. Mm-hmm. Especially now that Capcom looks like a bunch of incompetent dipshits for not releasing a Mega Man X game people clearly want. Because just to put it in perspective, you got 20XX, you've got Intellisoft's game As Your Gunbolt, and they even took Mighty Number 9 and released it in a game called Mighty Gunbolt Burst, reduced it down to a 2D scale, and actually made the Mighty Number 9 characters playable, and frankly more enjoyable than, again, what Keiji Inafune did with a $4 million budget.
Yeah, and you could even kind of say the same thing with, like, what's the Banjo-Kazooie knockoff, how it didn't really live up to expectation.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you also get some good stuff like Crypt of the Necrodancer and a couple other little indie games that, granted, when you go into this whole, I don't know, pre-development stage crap, early access stuff, you kind of got to play it by ear, and you got to consider this might be the best it'll ever get, and you have to take that chance. And it's kind of more like investing more than anything else.
I guess that's a good way of investing. That's a good way of looking at it. What I'm more afraid of is I think we see like it's kind of like hipsters almost. There's like a little surge of popularity. Oh, we're part of the indie movement, even though I think it's overall a good thing.
Pink curly mustaches and all that kind of shit.
But what I'm afraid of is that we're gonna slowly, I think, get out of that situation a little bit and gonna go back into the publishers, because I think we're moving past the age where video games were still, relatively speaking, cheap and somewhat like technically easy to produce, where I think unfortunately the average gamer is expecting a lot more. I don't know what better way to explain it.
Well, I kind of seen like a cyclical arc where back in the days of the Atari 2600, it's just anarchy. Anybody can make a game, anybody can make anything and just put it out on the shelf, and you grab it and you slap it into your thing. And the quality control was certainly not there. You get like bajillion Pac-Man clones, and one dot chases another dot, and it's considered a game. And then all of a sudden, it caused a game crash, and then Nintendo came out. They had some extremely loose policies on what constituted getting a Nintendo seal of quality, because there's some real shit out there. And then it's like the publishers, the amount of games came out for the original Nintendo was like 800, and then for Super Nintendo it was like 200, and then for the Nintendo 64 it was like, I don't know, 120 or something like that in the States. So you kind of see like it kept thinning out the herd more and more and more until finally get to like maybe 5 or 10 years ago, where it was just first person shooter, and not a lot of diversity in the gaming landscape. And everything's heavy publisher and multi-million-dollar budgets and gigantic, huge cinematic games, and they started losing sight of what made a game. And then all of a sudden, the indie scene came out, and they're like, "Hey, you know what? We're gonna just create little fun games like Meat Boy and Crypt of the Necrodancer and stuff like that."
I guess what I'm afraid of is that we're just moving away from that, unfortunately.
Yeah, we'll probably be swinging the pendulum in the opposite direction way too hard, where everyone's going to be putting out games and it's going to flood the market. You won't know what's good, what's bad. There's going to be all this early access stuff because people are going to be like, oh, it's buy my stuff now, and then they'll just take the money and fucking run. There's a possibility of that. But unless it's like a direct scam, I can't imagine too many developers getting to pull that off more than once. Because who was the guy who had like was it Daisy? Is that the name? The zombie one that had a huge fiasco because the guy never finished it.
Yeah, it wasn't the Warzy or something like that.
Yeah, something along those lines. But he was like talking about like, oh, I'm moving on to my next game, and a lot of people are just making jokes and cracking kecks at him, saying, you asshole, you never finished the first fucking one. So
they'll finish it using Unity assets.
Yeah, and it's there's going to be that stigma floating around with people who try to deliver and don't. So I think with like this might be one of the instances where social media might be doing its job.
Maybe. Well, you want to talk about a great game that wasn't never finished? They've pretty much officially put the nail in the coffin of Half-Life 3. There's a big platformer.
Hasn't it been in the coffin, buried in the ground for quite a while now? Even if we haven't known about it.
Basically, a Valve staff member released a tweet that said a supposed game allegedly in this far off future where there are portal guns. And he kind of basically gave what they wanted the ending to Half-Life 3 a way to be, which is, a lot of people are taking this, them saying this game's never going to happen. Stop holding your breath.
It could be Portal 3 they're talking about. You never know.
Yeah. But you know what?
Valve can't count to 3.
Listen, Dota's making them so much money, they don't have to focus on any other games.
Steam is making them so much money, they don't do shit else.
I guess I can't blame Gabe that much.
No, he brought us a service that even with the Steam Greenlight thing, I mean, he's given a lot of people a lot of access to stuff that I can't imagine, like, you know, Ed McMullen being able to go out to a couple of AAA developers and being like, hey, I want to make a game. They'd be like, yeah, sorry, we're making Call of Duty.
Yep. You know what I was thinking? What if like Netflix like became like Steam and people could submit short films and independent films and stuff, and then like a 10-minute clip, or just pitch their concept and then people could get behind it and back it, and then they'd fund their own independent films.
Yeah, but Steam doesn't fund your game though. That's the difference.
Yeah, they sold the rights for $50.
I'm not talking about like Netflix funding the film, but like people get behind it and greenlight it.
Oh,
and then
okay.
if it's good, you know, they can start a Kickstarter page and people can help pay for it, and it gets distributed by Netflix.
But isn't that Kickstarter what it's for effectively though?
Yeah, and YouTube too.
Yeah, I was about to say, and Laughing Man were younger, that was called YouTube.
Yeah, but like obviously you don't put like shit posts up on Netflix. They will actually have to review it and see if it's actually a movie.
Well, that's the problem. They have to review it, which
would be.
I have my
just to make sure that it's an actual movie and not just like Nyan Cat on a 3-hour loop or something.
Well, and that's the other thing too to bear in mind is, believe it or not, Netflix is not a profitable business right now. Neither is YouTube, for that matter.
Yeah, YouTube is a failing
YouTube
business.
has never been profitable.
Yep.
I don't believe so.
Yeah, the only thing that's keeping YouTube afloat, that could possibly keep YouTube afloat, is Google. They have the money to invest into YouTube because YouTube, millions of people uploading millions of videos every day. That's a hell of a
really the ultimate catch-22. It's a company that, or at least a website that makes no money whatsoever, yet it's too valuable to give away or shut down.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, unless you have like a decentralized web where like your refrigerator can store someone else's videos, it's never going to be profitable. There's just not enough service storage space unless you can start putting like data on DNA strands or something, some technology that's going to be dirt cheap and uber powerful.
Oh yeah, did you guys hear about the Tumblr strike?
Oh no!
Fucking hell! Tumblr's finally safe for 24 hours.
Yeah. On the 1st of September, Tumblr's decided they were not going to post any new content because Tumblr was not taking a spin against white supremacist speech. Never mind the fact they didn't define what white supremacist speech was, but, you know, that'd been a problem.
Oh no, people
are
silencing
themselves to protest white supremacist speech. Is that what I got? Or no?
No, they probably, the white supremacist speech to them is probably like, oh yeah, white people are all right.
The white people ain't so bad. Well, you know, it's pretty telling that when most people's that I knew's reactions to the whole Charlottesville fiasco is like, wait, there really were Nazis there this time?
It's like, yeah, there was several. You didn't notice?
I mean, like,
the SJW cried wolf.
I hate Nazis, I hate Antifa, and I hate communists. You can't blame the rise of Nazism with the current climate.
Well, it's just an overreaction to the political correctness.
Yeah, well, there's a yin and a yang, and there's a balance. And the more outrageous and, you know, violent the left become, the more outrageous and violent the right are going to become. It's not that it's one side's fault. It's both sides.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Which the president basically said and got shit for.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean there's violence on both sides? It's like, yeah, you've never heard of Antifa? You've never seen them like throwing water balloons full of human waste and mace and paint at people?
Or just Black Lives Matter in general. Let's be honest.
Did you hear that one Antifa dude had like a pole with like a nail on the end of it or something, and he stabbed a fucking police horse?
Yep.
Killed a fucking police horse. Like, fuck off, you scum.
Oh, but did you guys hear what happened, though? There's something very interesting development happened with Antifa. Rory mentioned it the other day in the Discord. Somebody actually decried Antifa and referred to them as Viga Hitlers. And here's the thing. It was Trevor Noah from The Daily Show.
Yeah,
the
I know.
left is starting to decry Antifa.
I don't really like Trevor. I don't like Trevor Noah, but at least he's got some sense.
Yeah, I mean, again, there was plenty of violence on both sides. You see videos of like the Nazi guys run at and trying to charge the line against the Antifas, and Antifas instigating violence, and obviously there was a car incident and stuff. If you guys want to see a really, really cool video, if you follow the Joe Rogan Experience podcast on YouTube, he has a video with Jordan Peterson and Brett Weinstein. Mm-hmm. Where they talk about like the biological aspects of like tribalism, and they talk a little bit about politics and how the rise of the alt-right and the other extreme is a reaction towards a reaction of the left, and how they've been, inciting violence with Antifa and whatnot, and cracking down on free speech. And it's just an overreaction to what's going on, which I'm not saying is justified. I'm saying that's what's happening.
No, I get it.
But it's a great video if you guys get a chance to watch it. Really interesting.
Well, I think Sargon of Akkad kind of summed up the event best, and he said, if the Earth had just opened that day and swallowed both groups,
both sides,
I think the world would have been a better place.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean when I keep on saying, just normal people in the middle who just want to be left alone. Just step back and let these assholes eat each other. I mean, you saw that one video where the Black Lives Matter and Antifa were fighting, right?
I know.
And it's like they've created such they've refined these identity politics to such a level that they're infighting with each other now.
Well, that reminds me of a scene from the movie Life of Brian, where they have the two groups that, at least on paper, are supposed to be fighting against a common enemy.
The fucking Judean People's Front. We're the People's Front of
Judea. Yes.
Well, I was about to say, don't you realize the oppression Olympics work on Highlander rules? There can only be one oppressed race.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Well, did you see Black? I think it was Black Lives Matter. This Black Lives Matter outlet published a thing saying that light-skinned people were privileged as well. So if you're black but also like very a light shade of black, you're also privileged. It doesn't end at white people. They will find new ways of becoming more oppressed.
Yeah, it's because every single individual has to find another way where they're the oppressed one, so they can go up the ladder.
It's like that meme with Frieza from Dragon Ball Z. This is not even my final gender.
Oh my god!
Even then, it won't be enough. They'll reach their final gender, and then they'll charge up to 100% oppressed.
Oh, that's brilliant. My final gender.
I'll have to find it. It's just a picture of Frieza, and they got Big Red's face superimposed over it.
Oh my god, that's brilliant. That's great. Oh my god, I have to find that and make that my desktop wallpaper.
I'll try to get into your Discord later.
I mean, this is why I love the Kekistan movement for what it is because it's a complete rejection and parody of identity politics.
Which is, ironically, one of the more diverse movements.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Nat, you go to school for game development, right? And I've been to your class. I've seen it. And you have probably more diversity than the fucking Spider-Man movie in that class, but they're all cool with each other. I mean,
except for one person, but we won't.
Yeah, besides one person, but I mean, you had like I keep thinking that Wade is part Jewish. I keep on thinking that, but you had that stuck in my mind, Wade and Nat and whatever. But anyways, you have like blacks, Asians, all these people like in a group, and you have women of every single denomination. And you even have this. What is he like Is he like a German homosexual with pink hair? Who was he?
Yeah, he's this German kid who's gay and that's it really.
And you guys all joke and make and throw shit at each other and have fun, and it's just it's beautiful. I love it. I mean, it's just chaos. It's people cracking jokes about each other, and they all take it in stride.
Yep.
Except that one person.
Except that one person. We basically have this transgender guy in our class who's like really sensitive to everything. Like everyone in the group chat was joking about like, are traps gay? And he went in and was like, can you not use trap? It's offensive to me. And basically everyone went, no, fuck off.
There's this great streamer named Aiden Paladin. She's actually a social scientist who actually leans heavily conservative and is a confirmed old fact from 4chan. And she actually, anytime somebody asks her if traps are gay, she like goes into the psychological aspects of it and cites several papers where they say, well, when men are aroused, it's mostly by, hips and different other feminine features and not necessarily feminine organs. So if as long as they don't see the balls, if the balls don't touch them, and she like mathematically proves it.
Well, that's why you hear all these stories about soldiers in the Philippines and Thailand. They see a nice little girl at the bar, they go to the buy our motel, they have a good time, then pull down the skirt, oh, there's a cock and balls.
And you go for it anyway, because what the hell? She has nice hips. But I mean, like Kahuna Drake's saying, gamers by nature is a diverse group that focuses on the individual. Gamers, like, you're on the other side of the screen, you don't see the other person. All you do is you just judge them by their performance, by shooting, the enemy, by taking a flag, or whatever the game mechanic is. You judge a person by their performance and what they do, not who they are or what they are. And then to have the gaming press, and this is going back to the Gamergate, saying that, oh, you guys are inherently racist and sexist and all kind of stuff. It's like, that goes against what a gamer technically is. A gamer only focuses on the individual and their accomplishments.
And games allow you to take the place of somebody who's a different color than you, a different gender, a different background.
It's escapism.
Yeah, like I could play a female character like Laura Croft, or I could play, a Samoan dude from Mark of the Cry or Mark of the Cree, however you want to call it. I got an entire cast in Mortal Kombat I can choose from that some of them aren't even human. I mean, you can imagine yourself as just about anything. It's just creativity. It's fantasy.
Well, and one aspect that gets flushed under the rug, particularly when they get to the Gamergate discussion with feminists, is that women like pretending that they're powerful and sexy too, or at least some of them do. That's why Cammy and Chun-Li have been as popular as they have been for so many years.
And girls cosplay the fuck out of those characters.
Well, I think it's because obviously it doesn't male power fantasy where guys their dream is to be like big and muscular and brave and bold and get the girl, right? But then women also have this power fantasy where they want to be sexy and seductive, but also can kick ass and all this shit.
Yeah, just power in different ways. And
women do, in their minds, they want to be sexy, they want to be attractive, and they want men to. Yeah, they want to be sought after. So when they see people like, Cammy and Chun-Li and whatever, these sexy women who are powerful and kick ass and all that, they identify with these characters and they want to be like these characters.
Yeah, and same thing with like guys want to be like the macho superhero, Marine or Duke Nukem or something like that. I mean, it doesn't matter if Lara Croft is a fucking A cup or a D cup. It's not going to change the fact that she's awesome.
The women. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess you kind of wrapped it up. I mean, guys also like to be seen as sexy and powerful, and I mean, as a woman, and I'm using you to be the representative for your entire gender, if I can presume it. When you see like a video game character and it's like a guy, like let's say it's Ryu from Street Fighter, or it's like Batman from Arkham Asylum, or any male character, he's big and strong and tough and macho and muscles, and I mean, isn't that kind of a turn on?
Those big bulges, big bulges, right?
Well, I mean, just in general, like even if it doesn't matter if you're like gay, straight, whatever, you like certain aspects of certain bodies.
Yeah. Well, it's the same as if you were a guy and you were playing as Ada from Resident Evil 4 with the long red dress and the high heels and the exposed leg.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what's wrong with these sexy fantasies?
Well, because if somebody is sexy, right, then it's been historically advantageous to be attractive, to have people want to have kids with you and to provide for you and be a husband or a wife to you. So that's like the goal the general power fantasy of a person is I want to be seen as attracted by the opposite sex or whatever sex you're into. Because it's like it's almost like you're successful, because it means you're successfully able to attract a mate and are able to pass off your offspring, which is the only thing that really drives the human race. Everything is geared towards having kids and making sure that those kids carry on your genes.
It's almost as if you're suggesting that it's part of evolution that we do that.
I know.
How dare you use biology? It hurts my feelings.
Triggered.
No, did you see that Salon put out an article about why we can't rely on facts anymore?
Oh, God.
Fake
This
news.
is from Salon, of course.
Yeah, no, they actually did. The Salon is literally advocating feels over reels.
You know what I don't get, though, is that, like, and I've been thinking this for a while, isn't identifying yourself as non-binary or a gender other than male or female, isn't that sexist? Because you're saying, I don't identify as a female because I don't like cooking and cleaning and doing the house chores. It's like, isn't that sexist? Isn't that you assigning gender roles? Yeah, just because you're a girl and you like cars doesn't mean you're a different fucking gender. That's sexist to think that way.
Well,
am I the
Anyway,
do I sound fucking crazy, or like is everyone like?
Well, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean though? Like, isn't it sexist to think that? Oh, well, I can't identify as a male because I like cooking. Like,
well, the worst thing is in my family, all the men are the best cooks. But
well, they're obviously a different gender. So.
Well, yeah. They're non-heteronormative males. I don't know. I can't make something up on the top of my head. Make something up. But again, this Joe Rogan podcast with God damn, I can't remember the names. Brett Weinstein and Jordan Peterson. Is that it?
Yep.
They say that there's actually kind of a bit of a trap. No pun intended. That that you could fall into, where some people are saying, we have to adhere to the biology, which could lead to dangerous things like, eugenics and some other things like that. And the other side saying, well, we have to discard facts and go with feels, which is also it's another double-edged sword. It's an entire catch-22. So they're saying, you can't go with the social aspects and you can't go with the biological aspects. And it's like, well, then try to go with neither and just be an individual.
It just occurred to me, especially in regards to eugenics, how can you have one over the other if you need both for that to work?
Not a clue. I don't even want to go there.
It just occurred to me. It's like, wait a minute. How can you have eugenics without facts or without? We're just gonna get rid of these genes this week. Is that how that works?
Well, this is the thing as well. I was watching a stream between Blair White and this transgender woman who I can't remember what her name was, but whatever. And Blair White was like saying, yeah, well, accepting that transgender is just a preference rather than a disorder means that there's no research going into finding some sort of cure. And the woman, the other transgender woman, was like, "Oh, so you think transgenders should be cured? Isn't that like saying you want to kill all the autistic children?" And it's like, no. I'm sure autistic children. I'm sure autistic children would also rather that there was a cure for autism.
I just don't understand that anymore.
Well, I mean, I have obsessive compulsive disorder, right? I wish there was a fucking cure for obsessive compulsive disorder, but it doesn't mean I want to kill everyone else who has obsessive compulsive disorder.
Or just have everybody have OCD.
Well, because I mean, like, it's not just a preference. Being a transgender is fucking emotionally draining, right?
Yeah.
It's a disorder.
Yeah.
People kill themselves. It's a serious issue. It's not just a preference.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, and it's not to say that we shouldn't have research go into it. And I think there's many different ways to be transgender. Experience has taught me that. But to suggest that, well, we don't need facts over feelings, I think you have some people that are genuinely confused, and you might send them down the wrong path.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying What we should do is we should be totally open to discovering the science behind the empirical science, not feels science, like the real science behind what's going on, and let people make their own decisions.
Yeah, and people are transgender because of gender dysmorphia, which is a real thing. It's been proven it's a real thing. It's when, you know, a male's brain has female chemicals or is structured like a female's and vice versa. And you know, that must be a horrible state to live in. And the only reason people get sex changes is because it's literally just the most effective way of coping with it.
Well,
it's the most effective method of cure it. Well, it doesn't even cure it really, but it just making the person live with it. It makes it livable.
Yeah.
But isn't dysmorphia also like isn't there like a physical dysmorphia, like a body dysmorphia, where like a woman thinks that she has to get like plastic surgery and have big breasts and starve herself so she has small waist, and guys will like work out, 10 hours a day so that they look like fucking the Hulk.
Yeah, there's a thing. Yeah, there's a thing called body dysmorphia. Yeah,
everybody is a little bit different. Some people will like do that either as in a way to make themselves more, masculine or feminine or whatever in between. Or some people they look in the mirror and they just say, "God, I'm ugly. I'm just so ugly. I hate myself."
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, it's a psychological issue. It's not just a oh, I was born the wrong way. It's a psychological issue that makes you think you're born the wrong way.
I mean, I do think it can be a little bit of both in that regard, but I won't say you're wrong either.
Yeah, I think it's a very like touchy subject for a lot of people because again, people kill themselves over this. It's a struggle that they have to live with on a day-to-day basis.
Well, if let's say I have like body dysmorphia where I think that I have to look like Superman, right? And once I look like Superman, it's going to make me happy. I'll be handsome. Girls are going to love me and all that kind of stuff. And then you reach that point where you look like Superman, or you look like, an MMA wrestler or something like that, or WWF, whatever the hell the acronym is now.
WWF.
Whatever it is. World Wildlife Foundation. Yes, you want to look like a panda. No, but once you look like, the ideal Conan masculine, figure, that you're going to be happy. And you get to that point and you realize, women aren't really responding any different to you. People don't treat you any different, and you're not happy.
Yeah,
because it's not your physical appearance that makes you happy. It's how you treat yourself.
Well, that's the thing as well.
Then it's all psychological.
Yeah,
that's the thing as well, is that a lot of people who have gender dysmorphia, when they have the sex change, it doesn't go away.
It doesn't fix anything.
And they've just put their body through all that trauma, and they still feel the same way. Right. And that's why a lot of them kill themselves, is because, well, I was a man, I didn't like it. Now I'm a woman, I still don't fucking like it.
Isn't also how people get addicted to like plastic surgery?
Yeah. It reminds me that I don't remember the name of the guy, but it's the human Ken doll. Do you guys know him?
Oh yeah, I know that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of that a little bit. You have all this, surgery to get look like Ken. Are you really happy at that point?
Yeah. It's like Michael Jackson. He was never happy.
Yeah.
No matter what he did to himself.
Well, I heard a rumor, and I'm not sure if it's true or not, though, but didn't Michael Jackson's dad always, ever since he was a little child, his dad was abusive.
He used to abuse him. And
didn't he also used to say that he used to have a, respectfully, I won't use the N-word, but he had an N nose? Isn't that what his dad always told him? And that kind of stuck in his mind, and he just had to keep making the nose less big, and get it as pointy and white and horrible as possible.
Yep. Well, in Michael Jackson's defense, he speaking as somebody who lives in Indiana, he was born in Gary, and that's about the same as dropping your child head first into the tub. It's he didn't have a chance, man.
Oh wow!
My mom would be offended. Oh,
great! I triggered Matt. So somebody hit him in the head. Let him reset now.
No, actually,
it was his mother when he was driving her in the
Hey,
car.
this is my story. You shut up. Apparently, this came out too long ago, but I was making a joke about being dropped on my head when I was a baby. My mom was like, "Well, actually," and my dad's like, "Hold on a second, I want to hear this." And she says, "When I was a baby, my mom strapped me into the car seat in the back." Well, she strapped the car seat in, but not me. She was driving, and she hit the brakes, and all of a sudden in the back she heard a whomp, and looked in the back, and there's just the baby baby seat, car seat, and no baby. And apparently, I hit the back of the seat and rolled underneath the front of the car. And she drove to her sister's house, my aunt, holding me. I wasn't crying. I was maybe unconscious or something. And she's screaming, "I think I killed him! I think I killed him!"
It would explain a lot.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I'm in total agreement.
I want to get
So now we
tested.
understand why there's that one part of your hair that never combs quite right. Yeah.
I have to comb my hair. I have to comb my hair in a certain way, otherwise there's a big lump. I hope I never go bald, because otherwise there can be a big scar. Look like Darth Vader.
Decisions. Did you guys hear about the law that they're trying to pass in California?
Which one?
Well, they're trying to pass a law where if you misgender pronoun someone, you can face $1,000 fine and up to a year of jail time.
And how the fuck are they going to enforce that?
Yeah, well, that's what
fuck that noise.
It's passed their state senate, but it hasn't passed their assembly yet, and it is limited to caretakers, whatever the hell that means.
Listen, right? I constantly accidentally misgender just men and women, let alone Ziza, Zim, all that shit. I'll be talking to someone about some guy, and I'll accidentally call them she, or vice versa. It just happens all the time with me. It's not an insult. It's just that, I don't know, I talk too fast.
People, the thought police are real. U2's blacklisting us for having too much to think, and now they're making Chris Ray Guns Ain't No Rest for the Trigger a real thing.
Oh my god! You know what? When I was younger, there was that episode of Futurama that came out where Fry gets that weird tentacle monster in the back of his head, and it kind of takes over everyone in the universe. And he was like, oh, you know, it has no gender, so we will now call each other Zim. And I remember watching that and thinking it was the stupidest thing ever. I never thought in my entire life that would actually be a fucking real thing.
Well, another aspect, not necessarily regarding gender, was in school. I don't know if you guys know anything about GIS, but I was learning about Mercator maps, and how whenever you make a map, you're stretching the continents, the shapes and sizes a little bit every time you make it. And one day our school, made an announcement for our department. Well, the Mercator map is racist because it makes all of the European and North American continent sizes look bigger than Africa, which makes it look smaller. So we kind of want to move away from that, that map. And it's like, of all the valid criticism you could make regarding Mercator, why this one? I mean, it drives me absolutely fucking insane. Basically, Google would have to. Okay, I'm calling it right now. Google will one day, Google Maps, they're going to throw it all out and grab a new map, because the map they're using right now is apparently racist.
Yeah, well, damn racist continents. Damn geography. First it was biology, now it's geography.
Oh, and the eclipse. Don't forget that.
Oh, yeah.
Don't even remember that.
Kind of the problem I have with the modern left is, there are a lot of legitimate criticisms you could throw at the president's feet right now. I find his stance on FCC and the neutrality alarming,
yes.
And all that stuff. And the Democrats, the people who should be calling him out on these things, aren't doing it because they're so busy doing this made-up Russia shit.
Yeah. I mean, when John McAfee, and when oh my god, how did I forget the fucking WikiLeaks guy's name? Jesus Christ, Julian Assange. Wow, lay off the booze, man. I mean, I've got like most of the books that Julian Assange has ever written on my fucking desk right here, and I can't remember his name. Anyways, when both of them say that no, it wasn't the Russians, I mean, and who are you gonna listen to? A fucking politician?
Yeah.
So someone whose skill in life is interpreting law, someone who probably lived on a fucking trust fund. I mean, it's just sick. I just keep on thinking that when it comes to like politicians, there need to be more like scientists and artists and people who actually do shit for a living as our leaders.
I know some scientists are trying to make a push to I think we won't see anything on a national level for a little while, but they're trying to make a push to get on the local level. But I mean, the problem, at least in the United States, is that it's virtually impossible for, anyone of that, to get into politics. Trump, give him some credit regarding this. He was able to play the media, Twitter, like a violin, and that's how he got elected.
That's what the next Scott Adams book is going to be about. How Trump basically he used the media outrage to always stay in the news.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
that's his greatest appeal is, for a lot of people, especially in the Midwest, who felt disenfranchised and felt like their issues weren't being addressed.
Right. People who even voted for Obama and then voted Trump, and you're calling them racist.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the great thing about Trump, though, is he's finally making people acknowledge those issues.
Yeah, he forced it into the spotlight.
I love how as soon as Trump says that the media was fake news, everyone freaked out. But before that, we've known that the media publishes fake stories. There's the scandal in the UK, right? It was called the Hillsborough disaster. And what happened was there was a huge football match, and they overpacked the stadiums, right? So that people got crushed to death in the stadiums, and people had to spill out onto the pitch to make room. And the newspapers blamed the crowds, the people who died. They blamed it on them, when it was actually like the police were forcing people in and pushing them in, and they were getting crushed to death. And people knew that the newspapers were full of shit. But this happened like 20, 30 years ago. Only recently, in like the last couple of years, have they come out and admitted, after numerous court cases and millions of pounds being spent on it, that we were full of shit.
And there's Jimmy Savile being backed by the fucking BBC.
Well, that's the other issue, though. Literally, it's impossible for anyone to admit, okay, yeah, we made a mistake. I'm sorry. It's physically impossible for anybody to do it. They have to be, no. We were completely right. No. We will not issue a single apology, basically, unless a court forces them to.
Yep. Liability.
Well, there was actually a development. There was a group of lawyers suing the Democratic National Committee for basically.
Oh God, yes.
Yes. Suing they're suing the Democratic National Committee for the Bernie Sanders disaster and Hillary Clinton being nominated over him. And basically a judge threw it out, saying that because they could not prove that everybody involved in donating to Bernie Sanders read the Democratic National Committee charter, that they had no case. Somehow that equaled no case. So, I mean, what were they supposed to do? Take a picture of them reading it and clicking and agreeing to the terms and conditions? Yeah, that's such bullshit.
Make every registered voter in America sign a terms and conditions. There you go.
No, we can't do that. That's voter identity laws, and that's racist.
Imagine all the people who donated to Bernie Sanders. I think they have a fucking court case.
Well, that's just it. They don't now because the judge threw it out. The judge threw it out because they basically said it was their fault because they don't have a way to prove that they read the Democratic National Committee charter to invoke their right to get their
Well, I mean, I saw this in like the Las Vegas one, and believe me, I wasn't for Trump or Bernie Sanders or Hillary Clinton. I mean, Ron Paul is not as close to a politician as I love, but I was watching the Democrat convention over in like Las Vegas, and there was a whole lot of shit going down there too, where like it was like, oh, Hillary gets it, fuck off everybody, and everyone's flipping out and being like, hey, you didn't even count us, you didn't bother with being at all equal. So he was getting shafted like right from the get go.
Even though I didn't, I'm not a huge Bernie fan myself. Even I have to agree that he got cheated out of the nomination.
Yep, well, just like Ron Paul did on the Republican convention back in 2012.
Yeah,
the Democrats, they just fucked themselves. If they'd have let Bernie win, he'd have beaten Trump hands down.
But they don't want Bernie or Trump to win because both of those are anti-establishment.
Yep.
That's really the problem.
Both of them are anti-establishment candidates, and it would have been a double-edged sword for the powers that be.
Yeah, but at least
they all make fun
somebody in fucking power.
Well, they all make fun of the, we're not the coastal elites, but I mean, they really, at least in the upper echelons of the Democratic Party, especially the biggest one right now, Pelosi, She is the biggest elite of them all.
Not to mention she's fucking nuts.
Oh God.
George W. Bush is still. Oh wait, he's been gone for years. Shit. But I mean, it's the entire political game is just corrupt as all fuck, and
it is. Well, that's exactly again part of why Trump got elected is because that was everyone says, oh, what are you doing?
The middle finger. Yeah.
It really was. It was just like, yeah, we know he's like a little nutty and that he's shaking things up, but that's exactly the point. We're trying to fuck up your shit.
Well, and that's why people voted for Obama, because he promised something new, something fresh, and haven't gotten a lot of that. And then a lot of people who voted Obama also voted Trump, especially like in the Rust Belt is what they call it.
Yeah.
I voted personally for Gary Johnson just because I didn't want to pick lesser of two evils. But a lot of my family members just absolutely voted Trump just because they're like, you know what? I'm sick and tired of this shit. Nothing's changing, and let's just try something new.
Yeah.
Wait, you mean they didn't like being called racist?
The deplorables. Hell no. You see pictures of my family. You see people wearing deplorable, like I'm a deplorable T-shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest thing the Democrats did is they completely assumed that they would have the working party in their pocket.
Yeah.
That's why they lost. Yeah. And that's why they lost. I think
Wisconsin was the big one.
Yeah, Wisconsin was huge.
Well, there's actually.
I love how people like they always say that the Republicans are like racist and stuff, but wasn't Abraham Lincoln a Republican?
Yep.
Yeah.
You still can't go like.
I mean, granted, that was also like 170 years ago.
Yeah.
So I give that a pass.
Well, and Lincoln was really racist. I mean, he was just incidental that he released the slaves because it's funny because Donald Trump, when he was talking about the Charlottesville situation with the statues, he said, well, where does it stop? Is it going to be George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln next? And everybody laughed him off as an idiot. Then literally the next day, this black preacher in Chicago wants to pull down a statue of Thomas Jefferson and George Washington, and somebody vandalized a statue of Abraham Lincoln in a nearby neighborhood.
Precisely.
Well, have you guys seen I can't remember the exact sources, but I saw a couple of news bits where all these white people are screaming about racist statues, and a bunch of black groups are trying to keep the statues up because they're like, hey, don't erase this history, man. Otherwise, we're going to forget about it and we're going to repeat it.
Well, yeah, it's like saying, oh, let's tear down the fucking pyramids because they're a monument to slavery.
Yep.
Well, they're not exactly on pyramid scale, though, but I mean, it's like,
they
don't
just
forget.
want to tear them down and destroy them too.
Imagine if they tore down Auschwitz. I mean, they intentionally keep that up to be like, hey, listen, come in here, take a look and see how horrible the shit was. Don't let people forget what happened.
Well, they tried to actually back in the and like the after World War II. Well, they tore down most of the concentration camps, and Poland was like, no, we're going to leave this one up as a reminder.
Yeah.
It was a controversy for decades, and then finally we're like, okay, we'll let it slide. It's like you need to keep stuff like that around so we don't make the same fucking mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm largely libertarian on this. If an individual town wants to take down a flag or a monument, fine, as long as it's a popular vote. If that's what the people actually want, not just a screeching minority. And if they want to put it in a museum, fine. That's great. Let all this stuff happen on a local level. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, and somebody made an interesting proposal as to how to prevent Charlottesville, because you notice that this stuff hasn't been happening in Alabama or Mississippi, and I've been kind of looking into it, like different Antifa rallies and stuff in those states. And the big thing is Alabama and Mississippi, even though it's because of Jim Crow, have laws on the books that say you can't wear masks at public gatherings.
Oh, Antifa.
Yeah, and that's exactly how you stop these people, because if mommy and daddy see what they're spending their what their kids are actually spending their money on,
future employees and cops can see, or future employers and cops can see who's.
That's what people have been saying. The best way you can defeat Antifa is to try and unmask them.
Did you guys see that one video of this guy actually managed to unmask an Antifa guy, pulled his rag off his face, and the guy started running away, and all these other Antifa guys thought that he was an alt-righter and started beating the shit out of him.
No, don't do it. No. Well, and it's seriously, there's this great video of an Alabama police officer confronting this, Antifa feminist fat turd, and Like he tells her no mask, you know, and this big state trooper and everything, and she literally throws a temper tantrum. I mean, she starts stamping her feet and squealing and crying.
They're gigantic children cosplaying as revolutionaries.
Well, exactly, and it's I always liken them to that character out of the High School Musical parody of South Park who kept slapping everybody, and then finally they pushed the kid a little too far, and he gets punched in the face, and he's like, "Oh my God, what the hell is that?" You know, just replace the kid with you know the right, and then replace the punch in the face with guns.
They keep going on about how we're the resistance against the Nazis. If this was World War II, do you think they'd be signing up to fight in World War II?
Oh hell no, they're against any military service.
Well, and who's using political violence and calling them other people fascists? It's kind of hypocritical, isn't it? The irony is so thick.
No, the irony is even thicker because if you actually look at the way Antifa dresses and everything, they dress and act in the same manners as the actual fascist party from Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there have been a ton of videos that have done like picture-by-picture breakdowns. The black outfits. I mean, the fascist party of Mussolini was actually called the Black Shirts.
That's racist.
Italian's not a race.
Yeah. But no, seriously. I mean, they did the same thing. They wore all black. They wore masks and everything. Hell, the term anti-fascist group was actually done by Mussolini as a joke, as basically as this straw man he could prop up and defeat. You know,
he was a complete fascist. Yes, he was the one who inspired Hitler.
I know, and that's exactly the point. Is these guys don't even know their own history.
They're not told it. They're not taught it.
They're not looking for it.
Because people are tearing down statues and erasing history books, so they don't know. Yeah.
Well, again, thank God for YouTube. You know, the information is out there. People can internet themselves. Yes, internet never forgets.
Well, and one last thing on Antifa, just because this is the one that cracks me up, is just to show you how insane these people are. At Germany during the G12 summit and everything. During the riots where stuff was lit on fire and where shops were being vandalized and broken into and everything, as the city burned, somebody caught a video of these two Antifa members. They just both dropped down and started fucking right over the fires.
Jesus.
These people are not well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It reminds me of after the terrorist attack in London this year, like the last one. For the fucking Cressida Dick, who's like the head of the police force over here, she was like, "Oh, but the nationalities of the victims, it's so great to see how diverse the UK is. Look at the nationalities of the victims." It's like, are you fucking real?
It's like the nationalities of the perpetrators.
Yeah.
But
is that really?
I'm sorry, Nathan, go ahead.
I was going to say, like, is that your main fucking concern? Not that these people were run down the street, but they were diverse.
Jesus, fuck that.
Well, and Britain doesn't have a hold on being legally blind. The main transportation system out in San Francisco, the BART system, I believe it's called, it is now they're basically holding any footage that might cast what do they call it, an unfair racial bias on anybody who's a suspect in a crime. So basically, if a person of color or a Muslim walks up to somebody on that public transit system, shoots them in the face and rapes their corpse, they're not going to release the video of it because that could be racist.
Sorry, go after the individual.
Yeah.
This guy has a tattoo of such and such. Finds ass, whatever. It's getting so PC. It's just sick. I mean, again, like Ayn Rand said, the smallest minority is the individual. Stick with that.
Yep.
So, anyways, with that, we better get the fuck off here before YouTube kicks us off for speech.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to blab on.
No, it's fine. We're gonna hang it up though. So, all right, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and if you've managed to survive this long, then props to you, and stuff and things. Fuck Google.
Fuck in the ass.
Fuck Google, but thank you for YouTube.
Don't take my YouTube's away.
Hey, if you could be an anarcho an anarcho-communist, then I'm allowed to have the same level of complete bullshit. So,
anyways,
yeah, I guess.